I don't know.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream, our first stream together. We've got the
History?
Stupendous Wave in the chat. This is his first live stream, so uh, yeah, dude. As I was saying, you'll probably like look back on this later on when you're a veteran and be like, "Oh, I was kind of a little more quiet than normal."
No, I'm so excited. I do anticipate being a little bit overwhelmed, I guess would be a good word.
Yeah,
But I've prepared for that.
yeah, that's okay. You get used to it after a while. And also, he said that he wants to do a face reveal eventually
Yeah, I think
with
so.
us, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Which would be wild.
I just got to get all the right setup and got to get the right level of confidence on that certain day, break it
Yeah,
open.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and that's like my feel like my channel took a I don't even want to say it's better or worse, but it took a completely different shift once I stopped being just a voice and you know showed
Well,
my
the
face and
thing
everything.
the thing you were saying last week was that it allows you to connect to your audience on a level that, you're unable to if you're just the floating voice.
Yeah,
So, that's the thing that's kind of stuck with me. And then at first I was thinking about a lot of the drawbacks. I'm naturally sort of a private person, but I think it was my dad that said it and then I think you had mentioned it too, but the opportunity to like interact with people and look at it
yeah,
from a positive perspective and enjoy this thing that you both like together and an instant connection is a cool opportunity to have.
it is, and I think it would make just your overall connection with your fans and then our fans together that we're going to create through our show even more connected because it's a completely different experience. At least speaking, firsthand, knowing that like when I remember I did a live stream where when I hit 1 million subs, and I was just like my voice. But when you actually show your face and you can like interact with fans and comments and stuff, and you can react to stuff, it's so different. Like how like there's those visualizers, those sound visualizers
Yeah.
where like it goes up and down. Yeah, like it's literally like that, but like a human, like a face. It's just so much more personable. And so
It would
you'll
certainly help with like
yeah.
talking about stuff with the acolyte going on, stuff that's more opinion based than strictly lore.
Yeah, and that too, that opens up a whole nother avenue of content that you can make because it's just so much more real in that sense where it's like, all right, like I want to know what the Stupendous Wave is saying about this. And it's like instead of just, clips and stuff, it's you. And it's just I feel like it's just you get that person to person human sort of interaction, which is great.
Yeah. I know someone just wrote in the chat like they're gonna wait for memes of me crying. That will happen, by the way.
Yeah,
If
probably.
I'm reacting to something like that, it will
Probably.
happen. The way I was watching when Luke Skywalker came in was just in my bed, just like by myself, crying to myself. So
Yeah.
when they were talking to you on Twitter and you got like flamed for it and they said that emotions weren't to be for sharing or something, if that was
Right.
the thing I'm calling up directly, that's
Yeah.
that's the antithesis of why people make things. Like,
Yeah.
don't people create things to elicit some sort of emotion from a viewer? Isn't that what art is?
Yeah. No, I know. I agree.
Man,
And
that's crazy.
it is, but you know what? I think
That's
you'll
old hat.
enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it when you do, whenever you do. And chat, would you want to see the wave's face, or would you rather him just be a talking bubble? So while they answer that, we can talk about, of course, first and foremost, this is a charity stream, so all the money goes directly to St. Jude's. We don't see the money; it's through YouTube's charity fundraiser thing. So if you click on the stream, you'll see a green says fundraiser, and so the money goes directly just to YouTube, and they work with St. Jude's. I also have a representative at St. Jude's that I worked with a few years back, or just a year back, and they're aware of all the fundraising that we do because we've raised over between this channel and my Cobra Kai Theory channel. I think we've raised over like 80,000 US, which is
Oh my
phenomenal,
gosh.
which is great. That
Yeah.
definitely helps a lot of sick kids with their chemotherapy and their a lot of their illnesses and the treatments and the medicine that they need. There's a lot of families, especially out there in the states, where you guys don't have that um, Medicare possibly, like we do in Canada, which, to be honest, we kind of pay through it up the nose with our taxes, but that's a different discussion. So it's free. You're paying for it every
Not
year anyway.
really.
Um, yeah, but this helps all those kids. So, anyways, all your guys' super chats go directly 100% goes towards St. Jude's and helping sick kids. So, we would like to raise 10,000 tonight, which would be great. We're already at $856, and we're at 6 minutes into the stream. So, last time I think with the whole panel, that one stream, I believe we raised, it was like 70, that's not 60,000, 70,000 or something, which was great. That was
Oh
like an
my
11-hour
gosh.
stream. It was wild. I don't think we'll be here for that long tonight, but especially considering you have a
A
hurricane or a
hurricane?
tornado or something. Yeah.
A tornado warning, hurricane right now. From what I understand, um, it's supposed to make landfall at 11 p.m., so 2 hours from now. So we're
Right.
chilling
Okay, guys, you got 2 hours to raise as much money as you can before
before the hurricane destroys
before
the live
before
stream.
the stupendous wave gets swept up
The
with
internet
that.
crashes. Oh my gosh, that would
Yeah,
go
geez.
out in such grand fashion.
Yeah.
Just a
And
tree falls in the living room. Oh my
oh my
gosh.
god, no, god forbid. And keep in mind that for taxes, I don't you guys figure this out, take this loosely, but for taxes, if you do donate as a charity, there's like a certain tax exemption for that, but you got to check in your state. And I know in Canada that's how it works, especially if you're a corporation, but
Yeah, it
so,
works like that here too.
okay, great. So yeah, anybody who wants to, help out for a good cause, and also you're not going to be having to pay double for taxes and all that crap, then it's going to a good place. So hey, $1,400 already. So I'll put it on the screen what we're at. But anyways, let's get to the discussion. So first thing we want to talk about is, of course, that the thing you posted today about the Acolyte, which blew my
Holy
mind.
shit, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to take that away?
I can. So for the longest time, one of my biggest, I'm not going to call it a criticism because I don't think throwing money at a problem fixes the problem when it comes to movie making.
Yeah,
But I will say one of my concerns or interests with the Acolyte is just this massive budget. And it was
yeah,
originally revealed or announced by some sources that it was $180 million, which is absolutely massive. I
yeah.
read a comment that said that even adjusted for inflation, that is roughly the budget of the Fellowship of the Ring, which is insane.
Which is
Um,
I think it's $70,000, 66. Oh, weird, $66,000 more than Revenge of the Sith. That's
oh my
actually strange. The
gosh.
Revenge of the Sith was 114,
Jeez.
something like that.
So basically, today, Forbes came out with an article, which Forbes is very famous for, being more on the Disney corporate side of things.
Yeah,
So for Forbes to come out and do this, first off, that shocked me to my core.
yeah,
But they essentially said that the reality of the budget is around $230 million, not $180 million, which would essentially fund, to put it in perspective, the next 15 Toho Godzilla films or the entirety of the Dune sequel.
What?
Isn't that insane?
yeah. That's I don't know what they're doing with all that money. I don't know how a project like that could have cost $230 million.
It's an astronomical amount of money. And the thing that is most shocking to me is about your interview with the original writer of the Obi-Wan trilogy
Stuart Beatty,
was,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
Stewart. Yeah, Stewart. He had to go to Lucasfilm to say, hey, there's interest in this Kenobi project. And that's the thing that shocked me the most listening to your interview, was that they didn't have their ear to the ground seemingly at all. I don't know if
yeah.
that thought went through your head at all when
Oh,
you were
oh,
talking to him.
absolutely. Oh, him and I talked a little bit afterwards, and that there's a lot more I know about the story that anyways, yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know what goes through their heads. I really, like, are they trying to burn everything into the ground, or, I mean, especially when you get a script like that for 3 movies that I think everybody would agree would have been much better than the slop that they gave us with the Kenobi show, which cost 90 million, and now that we see the Acolyte, the Shitalite was 230 million dollars. I mean, what the freak? That's like that's 3 times, almost 3 times the amount that
Yeah,
Kenobi was, and that means they literally could have done if the Kenobi show was one movie and each movie was going to be 90 million. That essentially means that the Acolyte got the budget of 3 of the Kenobi movies,
I had that thought
more or
too,
less.
which is insane.
Yeah,
Especially because Obi-Wan is an established character and an established, you know, property is a he's like a sub
yeah,
property. But to go in this entirely new direction,
yeah,
and to throw this much money into a part of the lore that fans maybe don't want to see all that much is
yeah,
just so shocking.
yeah. I know. It's quite disheartening. I truly wonder who is helming all of these decisions, and are they of sound mind? Are they okay? Because this is weird. How do you
Yeah.
take that script and just, first of all, give us that shit, and then second of all, then give us the Acolyte and spend 3 times the budget on that junk, and then like people want to, even with that garbage script of the Kenobi, people want to see another season because it's Kenobi. It's freaking Ewan McGregor and Hayden
Yeah.
Christensen. It's Darth Vader. Even with what Joby Harold and Deborah Chow did, which shat all over it and shat all over Stuart Beattie's script, they still want to see more, let alone the Acolyte, which they wanted to make another season for whatever reason, but it didn't have enough viewership, and therefore they're like, we can't afford to do this crap again. Which means that they couldn't even make that junk for like the same price as the Kenobi show for 90 million and still be profitable, which tells you a lot. You know, coming in at the worst rated Star Wars show in history in terms of the finale, which is documented. I mean,
And the most
that says a lot.
expensive.
The most expensive and the worst rated in terms of viewership. That's wild.
That's that is insanely wild. Like the downfall is going to be studied for decades. How do you have such a popular established IP and just diminish its value so severely in record time?
Yeah,
The
I know.
the thing that you were talking about with Stuart Beattie and everything was he was very open to doing a second season of Kenobi, and I feel just as you did in the interview, very strongly of the fact that if they do another one, that he should be involved in some capacity.
Yeah, because I think he gets it and he understands these characters. And
The
I just
Go ahead, man. I apologize.
no, I'm sorry. Please continue.
The one of the things that I really loved was how he addressed Luke and Luke Skywalker's story. I don't know how you felt about Luke's inclusion in the Kenobi series. I found it to be sweet but unnecessary. But
Yeah.
in this other script, in Stewart's script, Mr. Beatty's script, the way that he integrated Luke as an integral part of this wider moving story
Mhm.
just fit so much more organically.
Yeah.
And it's not a cameo if the character is integral to the plot and to the overarching story and the arc of the character involved, that being Obi-Wan. It
Yeah.
does feel like a member berry when you have one scene at the end.
Yeah. I know.
Same
I
with
agree.
Qui-Gon.
I agree. And well, they just shoehorned Qui-Gon in, and seeing him was, of course, emotional because you hadn't seen him since you were 9, for me at least. But like looking back, it's just like, fuck you guys. You guys don't really know even why you're putting him in there. First of all, you're not supposed to even see him. Second of all, it, why even interject him at the very end there like that? Like once he gets his powers, like okay, then now he can, because all of a sudden he can see Qui-Gon. It's like it's moving, but at the same time, like you're just doing a cheap trick. And I'm pissed because it's like these people didn't even understand Star Wars, nor did they understand Stuart Beattie's script, and they just want to throw in these key jangling, like Mahler says, and they just are trying to pull on heartstrings to further the love that we have for this franchise and be like, oh, remember that guy? And pull on what George built to make their story seem better when it's not. And
do you
that's what bugs me
think
about it.
Do you think that in the Lucasfilm office, they view Obi-Wan and greenlighting that show as an attempt to appease fans in an effort to move on to the next project that they actually care about.
It's quite possible, but what I think that they wanted to do even was maybe they wanted to take the Kenobi script and say, okay, let's, have a Kenobi show, but let's just focus on Riva for whatever reason. Let's just focus on this new character and more so about her journey and her struggles. And it's like nobody fucking cares. No one gave a shit. And if anything, it just makes them hate the character. Like they're not learning. Like look what happened with Ray. Nobody hates Ray because she's a girl. And if you argue that, then well, yeah, sure. There's those, whatever sexist people out there. They're like freaking 0.2%. Okay, but the
Mhm.
majority of people didn't like Ray. First of all, because it's a poorly written character, but also mainly because she shoehorned her way in to steal the spotlight from Luke and made him look like a dope. And so when we wanted to get more screen time of Luke, we were just getting Ray. When we wanted to get more screen time of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin and Vader, we were getting more Reva and then more little Leia. And it's like nobody signed up for that. Nobody gives a shit about Reva. We want to see what we came for, which is the star of the show, Obi-Wan Kenobi. But they don't get this shit. They honestly, I don't know what goes through their heads, but they're going to understand soon with more suffering of these shows like The Acolyte and more money down the drain.
Yeah, they will.
So maybe eventually they'll get it, but I don't know, man. What? Let me ask you, what do you think? They obviously have access to the right writers, like Stuart Beattie, for example. What do you
Mhm.
think their reasoning is for going against that? Going against what they do you even think they recognize the fact that this is like a superior story?
I
Or do you
think
think they're
that
they're stupid or do you think they play stupid?
I think that there are definitely people in that room that do.
Yeah.
And all I can do is speculate. So I would only speculate that things like Star Wars and Marvel are sort of the pinnacle of entertainment, if you will. And
Yeah.
I think that if you're going to get in that door, you either have one of two things. You have a brilliant idea or you have connections. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes they're just picking people that have these connections and that they have, formed a relationship with over their career beforehand and ensured that their values align directly with their image of Star Wars, whatever that may be. Obviously, that changes from director to director. I
Yeah.
think that that is far more important to the Disney corporate office than picking the right story to tell. It's become the discourse about Star Wars has not become what is the right story to tell. It's become what story do I personally just with me want to tell. And if
Yeah.
you're making your own movie, that's fine. That's great. But you're not making, I'm getting upset already.
I
You're
know.
not making your own movie. You're making Star Wars. This is not yours. It may be Disney's on paper, but this is George Lucas's idea and
Yeah.
other writers who have remained,
Yeah.
loyal to that vision and interacted with it and studying it as Stuart Beattie clearly has with his familiarity with the character of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I loved in the interview how he talked about how does this man go from the brave war general to the reluctant, survivor that has to pick up his weapon again, but is
Hermit.
still hoping
Yeah.
for, adventure somehow.
Yeah.
Like the little gleam in his eye still that he is truly a Jedi master now. He is truly enlightened. He has risen above,
Yeah.
as he would put in Rebels.
Yeah.
Um, I know I went on a tangent, but I just love Obi-Wan so much, and I
Me too.
specifically love the time on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Uh, that's my favorite Obi-Wan era because he's been in power for so long, he's been influential for so long, and he's sort of relegated to something that he never thought that he would. And the galaxy around him has become something that he never thought that it would ever become. And he has to learn to accept that and to choose to, be better the next day.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like it's probably one of the most interesting story arcs because there's just so much there to get into,
So
uh,
much.
and how Stuart Beattie weaved it all in together. I mean, it's I want to say more here, but it's it would have made Star Wars today so much more enjoyable, and I think exactly what a lot of us are missing in Star Wars today is because of Disney's fuck up. And I think that Stewart's 3 movies would have completely changed the game, and people would have been like as excited as they were with Revenge of the Sith, essentially,
Yeah, I think
and
so
brought
too.
brought that hope back. And he said this one thing that Lawrence Kasdan, who was the director of Empire Strikes Back, told him, which a lot of you saw in the interview, was that Star Wars, when you leave the theater, it's utter delight. You know, a Star Wars movie has to be delightful. And The Last Jedi was not delightful, in my opinion. The Force Awakens was not delightful. Um, Neither was Episode 9. Neither was any other Star Wars project other than probably The Mandalorian, season 1 and season 2 for me. And I think even season 1 probably more delightful than, well, I don't know, maybe season 1 and season 2 together. But I think those were the actual real amazing Star Wars projects that we've gotten in the last however many years it is now. What, 14 years?
Oh my goodness.
Something like that. 12, no, 13 years. Yeah, since Disney has owned Star Wars almost. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. And as for the games, I mean, what are they doing? They haven't really given us much.
Yeah, well, they're canceling everything now.
Yeah, they're canceling everything.
But that's not new for Disney. Disney's been
No,
I talk about this on my channel a lot. Where is the Ryan Johnson trilogy? Like, it's so interesting, like, why they won't even address it. It's like a monster in the closet that none of them are allowed to acknowledge.
I think they're starting to understand that people just really don't want this crap.
You think it's just gonna fade? You think there will be a non-announcement?
Yeah, I think people just don't want this shit at all
Y
whatsoever. Like
yeah.
they know that it's just not something good to even discuss or have out there because it's just going to turn people off, and people are gonna be like, "Well, I don't give a crap about this. You ruined Luke with your shitty story, and you kept telling us your Snoke theory sucks." It's like at least people had a theory. At least
Mhm.
people had an idea of what Snoke was versus your garbage that you threw in there and probably didn't even have like written out until the very end, where J.J. Abrams had to like make some shit up and be like, okay, he was Palpatine the whole time because they couldn't figure it out. First he was Plagueis, then he was freaking this like unknown dude from the unknown regions apparently, and then he became Palpatine, and then he was a nobody, and it's like, man, you guys make your stuff up. Like, get it right the first time you start the script, and that's it.
Did you hear the rumor that on the production of The Rise of Skywalker, Daisy Ridley was told that she was gonna be a Kenobi?
Yeah,
Did you remember hearing that?
yeah, yeah.
That's during production.
I know, I know. And Snoke was supposed to be Plagueis.
That would have felt so forced at that point, honestly,
I
after The
would have,
Last Jedi.
I would have. Well, if they had kept that
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Last Jedi, and like the whole way through, I think that would have been much better. But
No, I think so too. We talked about this last week, but he should have been Plagueis. Like, that's just such a
well,
cool idea.
you know, uh, there was this guy that used to email me different things. He was like the most mysterious dude, and he had a website and a handle. And I mentioned this only once on stream in the past. And he had a website and a handle in each email, and they were so cryptic, unbelievably cryptic, dude. I thought this guy was like legit working at Lucasfilm or something like that. Turns out he wasn't, apparently, supposedly. I don't know even. And his website, you would click on the link or you'd go to it, I remember, and it was just a it was a full on just one page, and it had his name, and that was and a cartoon image of a an animal. I'm not even gonna divulge into too much information. And that was it. It was so weird. I'm like, why would someone be paying this amount of money for this website to have like one page which says welcome to the or whatever? And that's it. That's all it was. And it was a cartoon image. And I'm like, this is so weird. And he would randomly pop up like sometimes at like 3 a.m. while I'm writing scripts. And I'm like, holy shit, it's this guy. And he'd be like writing these weird freaking I can't even say they were theories. He was like full on telling me like what it is, and he's like, they're watching, they're enjoying your videos, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what the freak is this? And so essentially, in one of the emails, he wrote this thing that Snoke, and it was actually so freaking cool. Snoke was a ancient Sith, dark sider, vampire type of being who had been dead and was like extremely powerful thousands of years ago from the old republic. And what happened was is that he was imprisoned and entombed because like they finally got him. The Jedi finally got him, and like they couldn't kill him because he's immortal, but they took away his abilities by trapping him in some tomb, some coffin.
Uh-huh.
And it was like some Sith thing. Dude, this is the coolest. And he was so hungry because he could not feed. He was almost like Nihilus in the sense where he like needed energy to survive, and he was
Uh-huh.
like almost like a Sith vampire, like a Force vampire. But because he was trapped in this tomb, he was unable to feed, and so he just kept growing weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker until thousands of years passed, and Order 66 happened, which created so many mass deaths of extremely powerful Force users of the Jedi, and that released into the galaxy, and he was able to absorb their energy from like light
Oh
years
my
away in the
gosh.
unknown regions. And this is where Snoke eventually broke from the tomb from getting his powers back from
Uh-huh.
all of the dead Jedi. And that was like the coolest theory
That is
that
such a
I
good
had ever come across regarding Snoke. And I think I remember I made a video about it, and like people were they were so on board with it as well. And I was just like, this is the coolest freaking thing that could possibly be. If he's not Plagueis, this is really interesting.
That's the
And
move.
how would they kill him? How who is this guy? That then opens up journeys into the old Republic and who he was in his prime, and stories about him and stories about who trapped him and all this and that. And I thought that would have been, a great segue into where Disney was going with Star Wars. But unfortunately, he became Palpatine in the end, and there were clones of him in vats and stuff like that. And
Oof.
that's the multi-billion-dollar corporation that we have now with Star Wars, unfortunately. But I thought that was just the coolest idea. I thought it would have been so much more well received. I think people might have been on the fence, but at least they wouldn't have been as opposed to it as freaking somehow Palpatine returned, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think they're all just making the most heinous mistakes over there, and maybe someone's gonna smarten up and be like, all right, you know what? We need to actually get our act together here and make some good stories. And keep hiring guys like Stuart Beatty and get him back for a Revan movie. I think that's exactly what we need to do. But
That'd be so cool. When he talked about the rule of two, I think that there
yeah,
should be a proper rule of two. But
yeah,
if that had been Snoke, I would have held up a picture that said "My Snoke theory sucks" and
yeah,
posted it. If
yeah,
that had been Snoke,
yeah,
because that is so cool. I love when Star Wars is ancient dark side.
yeah.
Anything weird. I was just researching the ancient Sith. I think it's pronounced like Simus or Simus.
Mhm,
Basically, Marka Ragnos decapitated this guy in single combat,
mhm,
but using alchemy, he kept himself alive.
mhm.
And Ragnos later appointed him as his personal advisor. And
Yeah,
he's just like this head
yeah.
sitting in a glass case. I love it.
Ancient Sith stuff is the most, I think, fun to dive into. Um, but I don't even know. That's the thing is like I don't know if I even want these guys to touch it anymore because they just ruin everything.
I see that a lot. What are your thoughts on like the headspace of at least we're getting something, or you should just be happy that
Oh,
we're getting Star Wars? Because I that's something that I see everywhere.
yeah, I see that too. I see that a lot too. And those are the people, in my opinion, that aren't as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, to be
Mm,
honest. And some you can call it gatekeeping, but look, what is it? It's like you obviously this is not important enough to you to the point where it has to be perfect. This is just whatever. It's like you're just like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, great, that's nice, sweet, awesome.
yeah, I
Whereas for
wouldn't call
me
that
or someone
gatekeeping.
else, yeah, for me, someone else, it's like I want this to be as good as what it was, what it was originally supposed to be when George created it. It's not just a weekend thing. I'm not a, it's like weekend gym warriors, and they're like, yeah, I used to have this friend. He'd be like, yeah, I'm go to the gym on the weekends, and then after I have my victory smoke, and I'm like, what? You go to the gym and you have a smoke right after? He's like, yeah, I go to the gym and then victory smoke. And I'm like, that kind of defeats the purpose. Like, what's the point of that? It's like, well, I did something good for my body, then I smoke, and I'm like, that's stupid. It just reminds me of that kind of mentality where they just think that, okay, yeah, you're getting something, so enjoy it. Shut up and enjoy it. What? No. How about you fuck off with that? Because this is something so important to me that I want it to be good. It's like that's like saying this is very fucking weird to even compare, but it's like someone, let's say you don't have parents, and it's like, why don't we just give you the two most trash parents in the world and don't complain about it? Oh, you got parents. Why are you complaining? What the
Yeah.
fuck? They're like horrible. They're like horrible parents. Freaking what would you want? Do you want to live like Harry Potter with Aunt Petunia and like Uncle
You want
Vernon?
to
Like, what do
live with
you?
Disney?
Yeah, I mean, or do you want like a great family? It's like there's a huge difference. It's like why do I have to shut up just because they're giving us Star Wars? This isn't Star Wars. This is some weird bastardization of it. This isn't what is this crap? So
Yeah.
it's like, no, I don't buy into that way of thinking where you just have to shut up and accept it and want more. That's just something a tourist would say. I don't agree with
Mhm.
it.
I think that's
What about you?
interesting. Me, in terms of like just be happy with you're getting something, I understand a little bit that frame of mind just because there are people that went without Star Wars for a long time and they're just sort of happy to be getting it. But I do not think it's gatekeeping whatsoever to want a product that you enjoy and that you care about to do well. In my
Yeah,
mind, gatekeeping is like you're not allowed to enjoy this section of the lore or the fan base because you disagree with it. That's what I would equate more gatekeeping to.
yeah,
But I agree with you. I certainly care a lot about this this IP. I care so much about Star Wars. It's more than an IP to me. It's part of my entire life, building a section of my life around it. So of course I care. For a
yeah,
while I had the headspace of, well, maybe they're really bringing in new people and new sections of people are being reintroduced or being introduced to Star Wars for the first time. But as time has gone on, I don't think that that's true, man. I just
yeah.
don't think that that's true. What I
No, I know.
have seen more than that is friends of mine that have adored Star Wars and now they would not be caught dead with the Acolyte on. And
Hmm.
that is so sad. And you mentioned The Mandalorian. A friend of mine who just loved Star Wars had, hopped off after the sequels. He had just no interest. And I was like, dude,
Yeah,
please let me show you The Mandalorian. I promise you will feel different about it. And then I
yeah,
did, and he loved it. And then The Mandalorian season 3 happened. But
yeah,
it's a happy story at the end of season 2. That's sort of my thoughts. I
yeah,
think Disney wants us to think that they're bringing in new types of people to enjoy the product, but when you start saying Star Wars is for this kind of person or Star
yeah,
Wars is for, these type of stories, then you don't understand it.
yeah. I know. I hate it, and I feel like that's what a certain sect of the fandom does, where like if you criticize something, then you're this, that, and the other thing, and like Star Wars doesn't belong to you. And I think that's and they like to call us gatekeepers, and it's like you people are absolutely insane. You have no sense of what you're even talking about. But
Well, you're the
anyways,
exact opposite of a gatekeeper. You make explanation videos about Star Wars on YouTube. That's like the
yeah,
opposite of being a gatekeeper.
yeah,
That's like
I know.
opening the gates.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? You don't get into too much with those kinds of people because there's just no logic. It's like talking to a NPC, literally. It's an NPC that you're speaking to. It's like, well, there's nothing going to get out of that, really. So that's
Yeah.
what their programming is. They're programmed to believe a certain thing, and that's it. And there's no open mindedness, nothing. So it's just a sort of like literally non-player character. But chat, we are almost at $3,000 raised so far for St. Jude's. You can see it on the screen right there. So we are 35 minutes in. we want to get to 10,000 by the end of this stream. So, there's about almost 3,000 people here. If each of you could donate $10, I mean, that's $30,000. And we don't see any of that money. It does not go to our YouTube accounts. That goes directly to the organization to help sick kids that have cancer, have other ailments, other illnesses, and they need the money to pay for the chemotherapy and the medication. And a lot of families and their sick children are dying, and they don't have the money to pay for it. And so we hope that your money, your donations will really help these families out. And having been a sick kid of myself, I know it's if we didn't have the healthcare in Canada, man, I'd be dead. It wouldn't be here. You guys would just have Star Wars Explained to watch. So thanks for Canadian healthcare. Appreciate that. And yeah. So, anyways, $1 helps. $10 if you can. Like I said, it's just about 3,000 people here. If you throw in $10, man, you can write it off with your taxes and all that stuff, I believe. So let's do some good. It's in a couple hours here. We could raise $30,000-$40,000 for sick kids and help some families out there. So
yeah, and thank you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
This is a great cause, and listening to a lot of your story is really touching. And you want those kids to have hope. Like, you want those kids to have hope and opportunities. And it's important, man. We got to look out for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just saw you threw in 200. I'm going to throw in 200 as well. I'm going to do that right now.
I know that when I was a kid, Star Wars meant so much to me. Just like playing Battlefront 2 on my little box TV.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it does. And I think children are truly the future, obviously, because us old guys eventually are going to croak. I mean, we're not up there yet, but eventually that's how it goes, right? So it's always the new generation that comes in, and they're leading the way for everything. So I think it's really important too, especially children who are dying and they don't have a chance. I was one. I've seen the look on their faces when they're all covered in tubes and got the IVs in them, and they're bald, and they're just in that little nightgown, and they're just sitting there, and they're just like, the fuck else are they gonna do? It's like they're just like waiting, like for fate to decide, like, do I get to be a kid and go out and play with my friends and go through everything that we go through as kids, or is it over for me? And in fact, there was a kid who had the same disease I had, and he didn't make it. And we used to apparently play together in the hospital, but he did not make that one. So it's unfortunate, but it happens every day in the world. So hopefully we can make a change to that with some families out there today. And so we love you guys. We appreciate you. We're at almost 4,000 now. So let's keep it going. So
thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. So what else are we going to talk about now, man? Star Wars is kind of dry. Did you see the new Lego thing that came out?
I didn't.
Me neither.
Lego got too expensive for me, dude.
No, it's a
it's a Star Wars game?
Movie.
Oh, a movie. A movie.
Oh shit. Ubisoft admits Star Wars Outlaws underperformed.
Oh man. That surprises not a lot of people.
That's yesterday. Oh, interesting. Let's see this.
I think if I were better at video games, I would care way more about like the Star Wars games, but I just suck.
I love video games, man. I love video games. Okay. A financial update from Ubisoft announced a number of significant changes at the company, including the delay of premier title Assassin's Creed Shadows. This came alongside words that Star Wars Outlaws had a softer than expected launch and a November 21 release date for Steam. Oh, fuck.
Wow.
No one's going to buy that, man. Despite solid ratings, Metacritic 76 and user... yeah, despite shill ratings that are paid for and user scores across the first-party and Epic stores 3.9 out of 5 that reflect an immersive and authentic Star Wars universe, bullshit, Star Wars Outlaws initial sales proved softer than expected. Yeah, because it was glitchy, it sucked, the graphics were bad, and I didn't even continue playing it, but you know what?
Was it expensive?
Dude, it was $160.
What?
Canadian, yeah, for a 3-day early early access bullshit and was riddled with glitches.
Oh my gosh.
It's a garbage game, man. It's absolute shithole of a game, and it's I don't know who decided to make this crap, but you know what? What I think is going to happen is they're going to keep making mistakes and keep effing up so bad that they can't make shows anymore, like the Acolyte that gets canceled, and then they can't make these games anymore. These games get canceled because it just has a soft launch, which means that they lost money. And eventually they'll be like, well, maybe we should go back to what those toxic people were talking about and just make Star Wars games again. They're gonna be like, oh my God, hey, John, we're making so much money. I don't know what the hell's happening here. Okay, keep going, keep doing that. And so they're just gonna keep making good shit after this, and then that's it. Like that, the tide's gonna change essentially. So
I would love the Force Unleashed 3. That's
yeah,
a game I would buy.
yeah. Force Unleashed 3, 1313. This was the 1313.
Really? What's
Yeah.
like the backstory behind that? Just like,
It's a underworld Coruscant game.
oh, okay.
It was
Then
supposed to be kind of like the Mandalorian, somewhat, but then they created Outlaws.
man, 1313, the premise of that game was so good. I just did a video about like the lower levels of and there is so much potential there. It's phenomenal.
This is what they do, man. It's their theme. It's like what they did with George's script for episode 789. It's like what they do with the Kenobi show with Stuart Beattie's movie trilogy. And it's like what they do with these games. They take something that actual Star Wars fans or even the creator George write, something that is legit, something that would resonate with fans for this already amazing IP. They take it, then they hire some dumbass writers or whoever it might be to essentially copy it, but change it up just enough so that it doesn't really feel like Star Wars while still carrying some of the elements. So it's like this weird Snoke um,
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein thing that's been like spliced and put together in a back to tank. And they're like, here you go. And you're like, does it feel like Star Wars? I don't know. There's something reminiscent of it, but this is shit. What is this? And you're just like sitting there, kind of like playing through this game or watching this show, and you're like, I don't know what is this shit? It's got the Star Wars logo on it. It's got like some music that kind of sounds like it should be Star Wars. And then it's got lightsabers and the Force. Sometimes it doesn't even have that shit. And then you're like, but it just doesn't feel the same anymore. And then they're like, keep watching, keep playing, keep buying
Buy
it.
it anyway.
And if you don't, you're racist and you're sexist. Remember, okay. And then they flunk, dude. Then they can't make another season. They can't make another game. It underperforms, and then they're like, oh, they're all racist and sexist. That's why I didn't like our product. It's like, well, no, it's just shitty.
Whenever there's not like the Force, Jedi, or Sith in Star Wars, sometimes I struggle. Unless it's like The Mandalorian, my investment
Yeah,
level on those projects is like you got to earn it.
yeah, gotta be good.
Something like Andor that took a little bit of time to get going, I think is a good example of that. I know a
Mhm.
lot of people love Andor. I do not love Andor. I'll just be open
Yeah, I thought
and
it was
say
boring.
it. I don't think like some great second coming of Star Wars,
Mm.
but there's good stuff in there.
Sure.
What you were saying about like feeling delighted when you leave a movie theater when there's a Star Wars project. Do you think that every Star Wars project needs to have that? Because in my mind, a project like Rogue One maybe lacks a little bit in that overall Star Warsy feeling. But as a Star Wars movie and as a Star Wars product, I still really like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think every Star Wars project needs to feel special and delightful. But unfortunately, I don't think they really know what they're doing. Or they just keep going like opposite of I feel like what should be done. Is Josh joining? I actually invited him. I sent a message to him. I sent him the link, but he's unable to join tonight. So it's just he was gonna. I was asked to pop in, but he was unable to join. So it was last minute. So
Yeah, I
um,
would love to meet Josh. I think Josh has such a good Twitter page. I just read his tweets all the time, and it's like he's so unapologetically his opinion. Like, I love the Penguin. I just watched the Penguin. I think it's like one of the
Is it
best
good?
episodes. I loved it.
I
I
haven't seen
loved
it.
it. But I love Gotham and I love Batman. And I love
Yeah.
that like Gotham is an intrinsic character in that universe. But he tweeted out today something like, I can't wait to put the Penguin on and fall asleep tonight.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah, and he said how much he loves Agatha, and I turned that on because I have a Marvel channel too, and I'm a Marvel fan. But I had to turn
Yeah.
that off too. It was
Yeah.
just too much.
He liked Agatha? I
I
didn't
think
see.
he
I thought
did.
I saw the reviews were really bad.
I turned it off. I think that at
It's
this
a
point,
movie?
no, it's a TV series. But if a
Oh,
Marvel TV series doesn't hook me immediately, I'm out. Like The
yeah.
Mandalorian has like the best opening scene,
Yeah.
like almost ever. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Dude, it's
I
perfect.
remember when they posted that online and I was like, I'm in. I don't need to see any more of that. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
No,
then it got better.
I know. Yeah, it just got better and better. And hey, John Favreau, man, I think if you let John Favreau cook on his own and don't get anyone involved, I'm even gonna say it, man. Don't get Dave Filoni involved. After the Acolyte, dude, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So, you know what? Let's just give it to John. Let's see what happens. And if it's good, then we can start slowly adding elements in. And it's like if you're allergic to, you don't know what you're allergic to with food, you just kind of like go on the carnivore diet, or you just eat one thing and then you start slowly, adding in other stuff here and there. And then, once you get the runs, you realize, oh,
Time to switch it up.
this is, I shouldn't have eaten that Kathleen Kennedy. This was the day for lunch. Oh, okay. I guess I got to leave that out. No, it's like, so you just kind of figure out, too many cooks in the kitchen, I think, with Star Wars really destroys the project. So maybe they'll learn one day when their pockets start really hurting, which it
That's
seems
such an
like it is.
interesting transformation because Ryan Johnson was like, The Last Jedi is all mine. Is that a gut reaction to that, you think? Like, we need everybody involved in everything when it was just the one Ryan Johnson, or at least that's what he said.
No, apparently that was true because he got interviewed by Mark, and Mark said that when he went to pitch Lucasfilm his own idea for a Star Wars story, that Kathleen gave him the keys for The Last Jedi just on a whim. She's like, oh, you know what, Ryan, why don't you just do the next installment of the sequel trilogy? And he's like, oh, okay,
What?
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. It wasn't even a. This is, yeah, dude.
These things need to be meticulously planned. That's the thing that just shocked me about the sequels is how do you not plan that first? It's not like they didn't have time to plan it. Of course they had time, but when you had to make a structure and a vision, like George Lucas's vision is complete with the 6 films, but when you throw all these different cooks in as a reactionary measure to poor reception on a previous product, you're just it's like you were saying, you're just adding like more sugar to a shit cake. It's not working.
I've never heard you swear. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I know if my grandma and my mom are watching, specifically my grandma, my mother swears like a sailor. I love her, but she swears so much.
I think very highly intelligent people swear. I don't know. It's a proven fact.
Yeah, I have read that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just ooh. If you let it go around the wrong people, Star Wars people, like I've had conversations with people where I've sworn talking about Star Wars and like they will like blink really fast, like, are you okay?
The way I look at that is, man, if someone's gonna get bent out of shape because you use a word in the English language to describe a emotion, evoke a certain emotion, I mean, well,
Yeah,
so be it. Your problem.
so be it.
Ugh,
But
wild.
but that's just how I feel. I feel like like you're saying, there's too many people working on it now. Back then, there weren't enough people to reel in Ryan Johnson and be like, let's not make Luke Skywalker your self-insert character. um, and a self-insert for your insecurities. I always hated the argument of Luke Skywalker making wrong decisions along the way, where the importance of the original trilogy is that Luke is the only one who is trying to make the right decision. And even his mentors, these wise and powerful Jedi masters, are telling him that he needs to move his empathy and his love for his father. And that is the overall lesson of the original trilogy, is that that's the wrong way to look at that situation.
Yeah.
But Ryan Johnson just got out of that. I guess I'm just going to have Luke try to kill a kid, just like his dad. Only this time it's his nephew that he's known his whole life.
Yeah. No,
Come on, man.
I know, dude. I feel like you and I have spent years talking about this shit.
What we have.
Just wait till you show your face. You're going to be so much more inclined to make videos just off the cusp. Off the damn cusp, dude. You're going to be like, wake up and you're like, you know what? I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this right now. And sometimes I find like the best videos are the ones that are you just hit record, you don't edit a thing, and you just go straight to upload with pauses and everything. Like I just think that's like the old school way of uploading videos. I know it's sometimes it loses engagement with people who have like short attention spans, but I don't know. Whenever I watch a video that's like fully unedited, one take, I'm just like, damn, I like this. This is great. You'll just watch some videos. You'll be inspired to do that, and you're just gonna be like, I'm just recording. Fuck it.
It's all about that jump, that like showing the face thing, you know, because that's intimidating. It's like I got to rip off the bandage, and there are reservations. Like last night, like my friends were talking about it, and my friends were split down the middle on if I should show my face, and it was just a lot of pressure. It wasn't a conversation that I really enjoyed being a part of, if that makes sense, because it's a very personal decision.
You're not you're not going to lose anything if you show your face. I don't know. I have a great life, and I mean, you know, we both have the same amount of views essentially on our channels. So it's not like anything's going to be like out of ratio here with me or you. So it's I'm telling you, like for me, like, and I think I'm probably much more controversial than you are, at least for now, until you show your face. Who knows what happens? But yeah, man, it's great. Like meeting people in person sometimes, or having them come up to you, or doing fan meetups and stuff. Like you'll be able to do this, dude. We'll be able to do conventions together. Like I'll like full on like if I like for Theory Sabers booths and stuff, I'll be like, hey, I will fly you out and be like, you can meet both of us, and
that would
both
be
of
so
our
cool.
Dude, fuck, be amazing. And we just meet people and like have fun and like do vlogs together and like go, different cities around the states. Man, fuck, that'd be so cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be a whole new era.
That's true. It would be very transformative.
That'd be a whole new era, man. The two of us just chilling, and like we could like with new Star Wars movies that come out, we could both go see them together, and then we could do like an immediate take afterwards. I don't know, man. Sky's the limit. We just
that'd be
have fun with it,
I do like those immediate theater reaction videos, and to be in a car with you and to get your immediate reaction from a Star Wars movie would be pretty wild.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done one after the theater, have I? No. Maybe Rise of Skywalker, and I was like, this is a good film.
It's hard. You love this thing so much, it definitely warps your opinion on it initially. I'm not able to give my full developed thought on a Star Wars project immediately after, especially something like The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I remember liking it too, man.
I liked it because of Luke, what they did with Luke, because they destroyed it. But it's like, I don't know. It's like someone takes something away that didn't need to be taken away, and then they give it back to you, and you're like, oh my God, I love you so much. And it's like, but wait, this shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah, that's your stance, where it's like, a too little, too late.
Yeah, and then I started to realize that, like, wait, hold on, am I happy because they kind of fixed the destruction that they did in episode 8, or am I happy because this was actually a really good story and it was the story that I feel George would have written? I'm like, no, hold on, I'm totally being manipulated here, and I don't even realize it.
Yeah, I definitely was manipulated too by it, but at the same time, it just felt better that a lot of my critiques were acknowledged in the film, and for the time being, it was enough for me to go, oh, okay, I can live with this for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited for your face reveal, man. I think it's gonna be. I think it's
I
gonna
gotta
be
get
cool.
the right camera stuff, but yeah, I
Wait.
would like
What
to be
if
there.
what if I put you on the spot right now and say that if he shows his face, everyone's gonna donate tens of
I'm not gonna
thousands of
do it right.
dollars
I can't do it tonight.
for
Oh
the
man.
kids, for the kids, man, for the
Oh,
kids.
I
Oh
I
yeah, no.
can't. I got
You
it.
know who's
Okay,
losing
first
sleep. You
I
know
need
who's
a
losing sleep.
haircut. Oh
You
yeah,
know
no.
who's losing sleep tonight, bro.
Star Wars Explained.
You know who's losing sleep tonight.
Alex.
They're
They have
teaming up.
have they still not reached out to you or said anything about this?
No, fuck them, man. You think they're gonna reach out, bro? They've been trying to destroy me for years. And
That's
before I even came on the scene, they were fuck, they
yeah.
hated you too.
I don't get that. I just don't. I That's so
Whatever.
unfortunate.
Whatever.
Especially because in terms of if they had stayed in their lane and had their channel for like, I don't want to use the term that section of the fan base for, but for a different section of the fan base. I
No,
think that that's
let's do it.
good.
Let's call it out as that
Okay,
section of
that
the fan
section
base,
of the
hundred
fan
percent.
base.
Yeah, those intolerant gatekeepers that just don't like anybody unless they like the same shit they like. It's like, what is? I don't care if you like. You could be. We could have like the biggest Acolyte lover and Last Jedi lover on this stream. I don't care, man. If you're a nice person, I don't give a shit. Cool, good for you. Like we're still hanging out. Like I don't, whatever.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
it's not a big deal what parts of Star Wars people like to me. It's definitely about how they the battle lines. Like the first message I ever sent to you was like they drew a battle line in the sand that says you're not allowed to think this way. And was it I wrote an Orson Welles quote down that someone
Yeah,
had
you
brought
did.
up that I
Uh,
thought.
fuck.
He says, "The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those that speak it."
Yeah,
And I thought that that was so true.
yeah, it is.
Anyway, that stuff.
And let
Ugh.
me just say, chat. Like he could have been quiet. Stupendous could have just stayed quiet, stayed in his lane, stayed out of the Star Wars drama, and just kept making his videos. And but he took it upon himself to actually like be like, no, fuck this, and like stand up and speak his truth. And that takes a lot of respect. It's one thing to defend yourself if you're dragged into something, but if you're not even like a part of it and you end up throwing yourself kind of in there, that I think is very commendable, and I really respect that. And I thank you for that too, because well, and now we have hopefully what's going to be a cool show, and at the very least, tonight hopefully we'll raise. We're at $5,000, so it's good.
Yeah. At the
So
very least, I got a new friend, you know?
yeah, you do have a new friend, and so do I. So that's cool.
It's so cool. Like Star Wars still brings people together all the time, and a lot of the time
Yeah,
we just get in our own way. And it's like I said, the demonetization thing and the deplatforming thing was sort of where I drew the line because that's a threat on them. Even though it may not be worded like a threat about all Star Wars content creators, it is a threat to every single one of them.
well, it is. Yeah,
That says if you don't agree with our stance and where we are right now, um, then that's not okay. And we're going to tattle on you for that. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure that you would not have had an issue if Alex had reached out and he said, "Hey, some of the things that you've said, I disagree with. Can we have a discourse about it?" You said last time that would have been fine, right?
he'd
Obviously.
be in this live stream with us right now, along with Eckhart and along with whoever else wants to be in here to raise money for kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got no problem. I'll talk to anybody in the world. I don't, you know, my
I don't
beliefs are my
understand.
beliefs, but I'm able
Yeah.
to recognize someone else as a human being, and I'm conscious enough and mature enough to realize that not everyone is going to have the same belief system or values, and that's completely acceptable. And that's the way it should be. That's discourse is a good thing.
How is that lost so often on so many people? I've heard you say stuff like that all the time, and I still see everywhere. It's like, oh, he just shuts down everybody, or he doesn't want to hear others' opinion, and I've heard that on my behalf too. Like, if people disagree,
Oh
then
yeah, dude, those are NPCs. They don't. You can take
think,
what they say. Yeah, they're not. They don't actually speak from the heart. They're literal NPCs. They're like Agent Smith. They just clone themselves.
yeah,
It's all it is at the end of the day. Um,
So I guess
Whatever.
if you were Lucasfilm right now, just out of curiosity, what's step one damage control? What is your
Uh
plan tomorrow? Say you have like direct say in it.
oh, dude. Kathleen or Dave takes a video on their phone and doesn't know, like, screw the professional shit, no lights and cameras, no nothing, just like on your freaking cell phone, like in a park or in your garage or in your house. I don't care. There's none of this fade in bullshit like Kathleen did. It's just super personal. We were like, look, guys, things are super divisive. I've said it a million times, and we want to course correct. We want to have all the fans come together, not just cater to one side, and we're going to do our best to do that and tell you guys good stories that puts respect on George Lucas's name. That's it.
Yeah. A mission
Like
statement.
that's the first move, and then after that, releasing a probably like a itinerary of cool Star Wars movies, shows, books, and games over the next few years. That's it.
I've liked how Marvel has structured that too with the whole phases. And I think that that is something that can work with Star Wars to a certain extent. But
Mm,
maybe instead of like phase being the big word, you could use like theme, could be a
mm,
section, could be a big part of your overarching Star Wars projects. Like you could have a certain theme, like Light of the Jedi, and it allows you to tell stories about Jedi all across time. And then you could have like the next phase, it could be like Rule of Two, and you could have all these different stories, novels, like you're saying, shows. The wealth in Star Wars is gigantic. You see the criticism all the time of like Star Wars is actually a small universe, but I don't think that's true. I think the second that people sit down and they just read a single novel, just one real novel, you can realize a little bit better the gigantic scope of something like this.
yeah,
But you got
totally
to do
agree.
that. You got to do
What
that.
what would you think would be the best thing to like the best era in Star Wars to focus on right now? Like you go back in time, current Skywalker, or somewhere in the Skywalker timeline, but like focus on maybe a smaller character, or go into the future.
I think that Star Wars really needs to prove itself separate from the Skywalkers, at least for a project. And when I say that, I mean a completely new era in time where the Skywalkers aren't a thing, the rule of two isn't a thing yet. I would go back. But when you go back, you open the old Republic can that you can't close again, which
Mhm.
is the big fear. But I would go back. I think the Dawn of the Jedi idea is a great one. It allows you to flesh out a world and to add new characters and to make it feel deep and lived in. I just think that it's time to reset. That one of the big criticisms for Disney and Lucasfilm has been so much hammering what we know, what we've seen already. How many times are we going to see Tatooine? How many games are we going to have on Tatooine? How many times are we going to see Darth Vader? I'd love to see Darth Vader, but I also think that there are thousands of Sith characters out there that are not as interesting, maybe, but have that potential.
Yeah.
So why make this grand universe intentionally feel so small?
Well, you know what I also find strange is how they're so focused on advertising something as like the dark side or Sith. We're going to focus on the Empire, like what they did with Battlefront 2, and how I was really stoked it was going to be all about Iden Versio and how her dad was, a general or whatever he was in the Empire. And then all of a sudden she just switches to be a rebel. And then, with the Acolyte, this wasn't a Sith.
Mm-mm, not at all.
Like they called themselves a Sith or whatever, but this what was that shit? Bunch of
I
like dinky ass nobodies that God, the
There's
plot
no Sith lore
holes.
either. People saying,
No.
"Look at all you should be grateful for all the lore you got." It's like, what lore?
What lore?
Like the
Breaking
fact that
it?
yeah, the fact that Valdemnik came up or that like I saw Plagueis for a second, that's not lore. Those are member berries that authors did the heavy lifting for you.
Yeah.
There's no
Wow.
merit of
Boom.
excitement in the show.
Shoehorning characters in,
There
dangling, jangling keys.
yes, there is no big payoff from a media perspective of having a strange alien peer out from behind a cave.
Yeah.
You're just capitalizing on the Darth Plagueis novel.
Capitalizing on what someone else created, what someone else wrote and did the heavy lifting for, as you said, perfectly well put. Amazing. Yeah, man, that's
That's how I feel. Like that's how I feel about a lot of Star Wars is when they tease me with the idea that I watched the Acolyte because I thought Plagueis was going to be in it. Like I'm just going to boil it down and be honest. I think that a large portion of the fans will probably share that opinion as well. I'd be interested to know what the chat has to say. But then when I
yeah,
saw him, it was just sort of like, dude, really, man? When Thanos shows up, he's revealed to be the big guy behind the Chitauri invasion. And when you
yeah,
see him in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's on a floating throne in space
yeah,
and he's killing these super powerful characters.
yeah.
But my equivalent to that is just some random alien hiding in a cave. If no one knew what the Acolyte was, they would just be like, oh, there's an alien roommate that Kymir has. Like, there wouldn't be any greater context to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, for all they know, it could have been the dude could have been like, "When are you coming back to bed?
Yeah.
Why are you out there?" I mean,
The,
it's just like comical.
it's comical. And the whole thing of like the dark side is supposed to be this thing that is very alluring is true, but they have to like sexualize the dark side because someone used the word seduce in an earlier movie. Like, are you that brain dead?
Deranged, deranged.
Yeah,
It's weird. Like, why does everything have to be so sexual? I don't know,
that
man.
was weird. That was very
I don't
weird.
know. Yeah, and like the whole how people are like finding what's his face? I already forgot his name. Kymir. Sexual. It's oh my god, it's like there's like a sexy um situation here. The guy was like
A sexy
kidnapping.
situationship.
I don't know. Yeah, dude, like the guy literally kidnapped her. He was like trying to kill her sister. He tried to kill her mentor. He killed like I don't bro, it's just weird. It's like the Andor situation with the serial guy who like is obsessed with what's her name? Whatever, what's her face? And ends up kind of like trapping her in this like weird control room and then professing his love to her and she's like creeped out and then all of a sudden it's like
You're like, this doesn't feel like
if
Star
if
Wars.
if my god, if Kymir looked like Igor from Notre Dame,
Uh-huh.
nobody would they'd be like canceling the character because they'd be like, this he's creepy, he
He's
is
predatory.
perverted, he's predatorial. But it's only because he's good looking that chicks are like, oh my god, it's just like a fantasy. It's what the fuck about this is a fantasy? He's like a freaking predator and like kidnapped her. Now he's like coming on to the sister. It's like, what the? How is this? Why was this in Star Wars? Like, what are we doing? What does this have to do with anything? I don't know.
Did
Are
you
you selling like a romance novel, or are you selling a story about Sith and the dark side and the Force? Like, I don't. I'm confused.
especially the context of the last episode where this individual was trained as a Jedi. She's establishing a romance, I guess, with the Jecki character, but it's just like it is
I
our
never
main
picked up on
character.
that. I never
Really?
picked
Did
up.
you
Yeah, I
see
never.
it though at all? Like the discourse
Um,
about it? A little
yeah,
bit?
no, I saw that people were like, oh yeah, that they're like flirting with each other. And I'm like, that's flirting. They were flirting from that little bit. I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't. I did.
Like
I
sure.
honestly did not even pick up on that. I thought they were just like
Friendly
girls. Yeah, I don't know.
girls.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It was a
whatever.
weird in a
Yeah.
show that is that short. those are strange tangents to pick for your $230 million show, man.
230 million. Could you imagine? Chat, everybody, can you just donate $5 or $10 to sick kids right now so they can pay for their chemotherapy for the week? Like
The Acolyte was a
meanwhile,
quarter billion.
$250 million.
With
Okay,
a
we got
B.
2,700 people here. If each of you just donate $5, okay, that could be what, $10,000-$15,000 for kids to an
This
actual
doesn't
good
go
cause.
to any of us. We
no.
do not see a single cent. It's not for our
we
profit
don't.
whatsoever. It's purely to help sick kids.
Yeah, we don't
And
even
it would
get
be
the
awesome.
money. We don't. It doesn't go to our YouTube account. It's through a fundraiser through YouTube, so it goes directly to them. So let the donations fly. Come on,
Thank
let's
you,
help
guys.
some kids out. You know, fucking $250 million is insane for that garbage ass show, and it didn't even get renewed for a second season. And it's a nice
wonder
write-off for
why.
them. Nice write-off.
It's almost like when your show does poorly and it cost $250 million, it's not a good idea to make another one.
Well, it begs the question, why didn't it do well?
Why was it that expensive? It didn't do well because it didn't resonate. Why is it that expensive is a far less clear, and which we don't even want to speculate.
Zero goes to YouTube. Zero.
Oh, I did. That's awesome too. Go straight to St. Jude's.
Yeah. No, I actually worked with the rep from St. Jude's, and they were like, "No, it all goes to the organization."
That's so cool. I know that one of the things I regretted was not taking part in the last charity stream that you did, because I remember thinking that I should, but
it's okay. You're here now.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. That one raised a shit ton of money, and that was great. I think the next one we should do, we can have a whole bunch of different YouTubers on there.
That would be so cool.
So we could have everybody from I don't freaking care who you are. We could have Critical Drinker, fucking I don't know, man. And anybody who wants to come on. I'm throwing this invite out there for the next charity event. Anybody, I don't care if I got beef with you or you got beef with me. It's for a bigger cause than all of this petty shit. It's for sick kids. So if that's going to bring in the money, I am down to have them on. So
I would love to.
Even if that means getting Alex on in the same stream, dude, I know that'll bring a lot of views and a lot of money in for kids, man. I don't care. I'll sit there for freaking an hour with him, and
that would be so entertaining. I'm not going to say it would be healing in any way, but I am going to say that it would be.
Well, there are other ways to raise money for charity. Boxing matches also happen. So,
dude, that thought went through my head.
I saw it on YouTube. I saw it on Twitter that people were writing that.
You and Alex in a charity boxing match? Oh my goodness.
Anybody.
If that happens, I'll fight somebody too.
Anybody, yeah, why not?
I'll train. Anybody. I'll lose.
Dude, do you know how much money we would raise for that, dude? I'll man, in a sanctioned charity boxing match, that'd be amazing. It'd be so much fun.
So obviously there's weight classes, even if it's like sanctioned in charity, right? So like what are the YouTuber weight classes, or is it like free for all?
No, I would just go free for all. Screw it.
Free for all.
Yeah.
I've never boxed before.
It could be two. It could be 2 versus 1. I don't care. It could be like
2 versus 1. Molly and Alex.
Oh my god!
You can only hit Alex.
Oh my god! Yeah, just bob and weave.
Yeah.
Molly, Alex yeah.
She could be there, but you can only hit him. That's a rule.
Listen, man, in a boxing, whatever, for charity, all right?
Yeah, for charity. When are you going to make your debut? Like, when are you thinking about that? Your boxing debut.
My boxing debut? Oh, there's no boxing debut.
There isn't one? You're not going to do one of what is it? Like the YouTuber one? Is it called Happy Punch, Sucker Punch, something like that?
Misfits Boxing?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, well, they reached out to me a little while ago.
I won't spoil anything.
No, there's no spoiling nothing. Listen, if they give me a good opponent and a handsome paycheck, then sure, I'm open to discussing it. But at the same time, I just train boxing because I like it, but to be honest, I'm taking it very seriously. I'll train, 2 hours a day and then go eat something and then come back at night and do sparring. And it's like, I don't know. I'm taking it pretty serious. I don't know why. I just am. I'm enjoying it right now. Maybe I won't enjoy it next month. I don't know.
How does it like compare to powerlifting? Because I just go from just
Yeah.
straight bodybuilding. I don't know anything competitive when it comes to weightlifting or anything.
I mean, I don't really lift weights anymore. I lift weights maybe once a week.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Don't know. I stopped caring.
Man.
I realized like being in physical shape and knowing how to fight is so much more valuable than um looking pretty or looking, like you are strong. Because there are guys that are bodybuilders or whatever that go into sparring, and it muscles don't save you in a fight whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like it's
They gas you, correct?
speaking firsthand. Like when I even just a few months ago, I going into sparring, and I was all mostly muscle, and I was just I didn't know what the hell I was just locking up, and I was tiring out, and even like holding my arms up, I was tiring out. So it was it's interesting, man. Boxing is like it's such an amazing sport, and I'm coming to learn it quite well. Just remembering from my martial arts childhood and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Just like the chess moves and stuff you could do in it, and the mental thinking. It's a really phenomenal sport. It's a thinking man sport for sure.
Is it like I imagine it's almost impossible to keep your wits about you when you're getting punched in the face. And
You
it's
have to,
interesting that like that is the most important part about it.
yeah, you have to, because you're getting punched in the face, but the all you can do in that moment is first of all get out of there, protect yourself, but then also you got to set up your next hit. Everyone thinks that there's one hit that's just a knockout punch. It's like no, it's you got to set everything up.
Yeah.
And it's true, man. What Mike Tyson said: everyone does have a plan until you get punched in the face. It's wild. You think you go in there like I'm gonna tune this guy up, and then like
No.
you get a couple hits to the face, a straight jab, and you get a hook to your jaw, and you're just like, oh,
Dude, I did it once
okay,
and the person that got in there was not as big as I am and they just embarrassed me,
yeah,
which good for them, honestly. If I'm in there with them, that's fair game. Um,
yeah,
but the coach, he was like, it's like running a 5K while getting punched in the face.
yeah.
And it's so accurate. And I hate
Yeah.
running.
Yeah, I don't run. I don't do that. I got compartment syndrome in my calves, so every time I run, there's like searing pain. So I like low impact stuff like
Mhm.
biking or whatever. Even jump rope bugs me, but it's getting better now. So, um, yeah, but the same can be said. Like you like bodybuilding, so it's like it's like someone who doesn't lift weights going in and doing what you do, and they're gonna be like, "Shit, I don't know how to do this." It's just practice.
Yeah,
You just train for it.
totally.
That's it.
The the gym is such a like inviting place. That's
Yeah,
partially why I love it so much. Is
yeah,
every person in there is trying to be better. What
yeah,
other location on the planet are you going to get that? Like it's
yeah.
hard.
Well, the thing with the gym that I learned, even with like competing in powerlifting, is that there's so much vanity in it. Some people do it because they really enjoy it. Some people just want to make a name for themselves. But I guess that's kind of like anything. And you find that with Star Wars too, like making a Star Wars Instagram or a YouTube. It's like a lot of these people I've met, they don't actually really like Star Wars. They just kind of fell into it because it's like a clique. It's a means to an end for them. It's a they're a part of something. They're part of a group, and like that's all fine and dandy. But at the same time, I don't find it as genuine as if
Yeah.
like you truly live and breathe and die for this thing. It's you're just kind of doing it to be popular now, which is wild to say that you could be popular liking Star Wars. Because it certainly wasn't like that when I was growing up.
No, or when I started YouTube. I was going to ask like was it like that when you started? Was there this pressure to conform to a certain message when it came to Star Wars that there is now with new creators?
No, God, no.
There
Because
really
back
wasn't, was there?
no, dude, it was so fun. Because like everything that was highlighted was the stuff George made. There wasn't
Yeah.
enough of the Disney shit anymore at that point because what did we have? Force Awakens
Well,
and
when I
Rogue One.
started, there was nothing.
There wasn't. Yeah, so you even got like the better experience than I did.
It was just back in the day a direct line to other Star Wars fans. It was never
Mhm.
meant to be a direct line to Lucasfilm. It was
No,
never meant to be a direct line to even money. Um,
no,
but it just was like, I have this Star Wars theory and I want to share it with other people that may also
yeah,
have this Star Wars theory.
yeah,
And it was so nice. And obviously they were dicks. Like people are mean, but there wasn't this pressure to like choose a side now that I think I see a lot of these other creators having to like decide like, am I going to only speak positively about Disney and Lucasfilm? Am I going to push for their products first and
yeah,
their products alone? I had a really interesting interaction on Twitter where someone was pushing for a second season of The Acolyte, obviously, which you've seen. Um,
yeah.
and I was just like, I'm just curious. Would you rather have these resources put somewhere else? Or do you really want a second season of The Acolyte? And they were like, yeah, I would love Star Wars to get weirder, to go into the future. And I think that sometimes people miss that we kind of want the same thing eventually.
I would disagree. I don't think a lot of these people want the same thing. I think they want to
Really?
stand. I think a lot of them, especially a lot of the quote unquote shills, and if that offends someone, then I guess that they're a shill. It's more so of like they want to be part of a cause. They want to be like, oh, I stand for this political belief. So if they like the Acolyte, for example, then they are all inclusive. They're inclusive of LGBTQ. They're inclusive of um, women in Star Wars. They are not racist. What else? I don't know. They're like quote unquote a good person. But I'm here to say, like, when did liking or disliking something become a political affiliation?
It should
Why
never
can't
be.
no, when it's a art form or a piece of media, why can't or a story being told, why can't it just be I didn't like the story because the story wasn't good? But it's getting turned into this sort of political ideology, a political debate that if you didn't like this, then you must stand for racism because the main protagonist was a person of color. And I'm here to say, like, if anything, I think those people are the racists because they're so obsessed with race and color and this and that and the other thing that they can't even see what the art form was created for in the first place, which is fucking art, which is the story. It wasn't created as a sort of political message. It was created to tell a story. It just so happens that the person is a person of color, or they're an alien, or they're got purple skin, or blue skin, or they're gay, or they're I don't know. That's besides the fact. I think what's primary, the first and foremost, is that we're telling a story about Star Wars. Um, so to those people, I would say that I think that they are more so aligning themselves with the belief that if they want a second season of The Acolyte, then they are all inclusive and they are a good person. Whereas I would argue that has nothing to do with it whatsoever. I'm just mainly judging it on, this is a shitty story. Give me a good story with the same kind of cast, and you'll see us all wanting a season two.
Yeah, definitely. So it just comes down to, the message is more important to than the product, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
hate that
So
it's like that. But it's not always going to be, I think, because money does talk, and $230 million is a lot of money doing a lot of talking right now.
yeah, $230 million that's a lot to
How do you do that? I
I
don't,
don't know how that even happens. I mean, I'm pretty sure if someone were to make a fan film and have it be The Acolyte, you could probably do that whole thing for less. I mean, A New Hope it cost how much? 5 million or was it
that sounds
30?
Star Wars has never been made better by like a bigger gigantic budget. Those were The originals were hailed as the biggest budget, low budget movies ever.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what made them great is they were like scrappy. And
Yeah,
scrappy in terms of production, not like the product is scrappy,
yeah,
but just people running around that set in A New Hope and the stories of like the B shoot teams having to get stuff done right next to the A shoot teams. And
yeah,
it's just it's just great. And then when Empire, George was so stressed because he put all his money into it that he was getting hospitalized because of it. This
yeah,
is scrappy, beautiful work that people are doing. And I
yeah.
think that Disney might just be too comfortable. I know Disney's too comfortable. They're so used to being able to throw money at problems. The Acolyte's budget is so big, we could have had Robert Downey Jr. play the Acolyte.
Oh
You
wow,
know, if he's getting 50 million for the Avengers movies, he could have been the Acolyte.
wow. Yeah,
But
you're right. No, I know they're probably so used to solving all their problems with money, but it's like, that dries up if people don't like your product, right? So what do? Double down, continue to make shit products by pissing off your audience and your customers and showing them that you don't care what they think and just, making more slop and lose more money? Or do you course correct and maybe go back to what made this whole franchise successful in the first place, that deemed it worthy for Disney to purchase it for $4 billion? I would say, the latter.
yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. So adjusted for inflation, it looks like the original Star Wars was 11 million and now it would cost roughly 40, but that's it, only 40 million dollars.
Yeah, for something that would grow to be as big as what it is. And what did a New Hope make in theaters?
Overall, it would translate to overall of its release 3.5 billion is what it says.
Not a bad investment. 40
No.
million, 40
No.
million, 3.5 billion. I mean, that's
Incredible. So
yeah.
you could make the Acolyte with A New Hope's budget. You could make it more than 57 times. A
What
New
is
Hope,
that?
I mean.
That's like saying let me is that the same as saying let me invest 3,500 and then I get 3.5 million out of it, or is that 35 sorry, is that 40,000 and then I get 3.5 million?
I'm not
What's the
sure.
math
That
there?
sounds
Something
right.
like that. Yeah.
It's just insane. Yeah, 40,000 for a $3.5 million investment
Return?
return would be insane. Instead, I wonder, man, I wonder how much the Acolyte turned out in pure revenue. Even if they're allowed to count like merchandise. Like I wonder what their final number is cuz they're definitely red. The question is just how red.
Obviously not enough. Obviously not enough to even make a second season that would be somewhat reasonable in terms of the cost. So let's say, they make another season and it's like, because they got the costumes, they got the sets, perhaps they got all the initial costs of making something is so much more expensive. But when you make episodes or follow-ups or whatever it might be, you have most of the stuff ready to go. So, I would say their cost would probably be much less, if anything, unless they want to go something super extravagant. But considering, all of the shit's already made, they could have probably done it for like what, 100 million, let's
Yeah,
say.
that's what the Acolyte should have cost.
That's even a lot. $100 million. Imagine that. That's
Yeah.
insane.
The number that blows my mind is that now it comes out to over $1 million a minute of actual, content that we're getting. $1 million a minute. That includes every scene. Every scene of people talking, which you're doing your fan film. You've set up scenes of people talking. Imagine if you had $1 million for a minute to go to that budget. What do you even do at that point?
Yeah, that's I don't know. I guess it's easy to do when it's not your own money.
Yeah. But like why are these people that do they just have so much that they don't care or are they just trusting the wrong people? Because if I'm an investor over at
Oh.
Lucasfilm and Disney and I'm seeing loss, 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 I'm panicking.
Well, I think part of my portfolio is in Disney stock as well, and I think Disney stock has is it's been plummeting. Today it's up. Today it's up 1.36%, but oh no, it's actually dropped 0.055% after hours.
You fail upwards at Disney. That's funny.
Fail upwards. Yeah.
I see your comments, Kyrie. I appreciate your input.
I mean,
If he's even still here, he's. It is so cool having the live chat.
you like it, right? Like
I
it's
do
different.
like it
Yeah,
a lot.
It's different.
I love getting the instant input. Oh yeah, that's not great.
Well, look at this. In the last 6 months only, since March. Meow.
Ooh, is that uptick Deadpool and Wolverine?
Probably.
That's what I
1
would guess.
year.
Deadpool and Wolverine, guess what? Also cost less than the Acolyte.
Yeah. What was this? April 3rd. What happened in April?
Was that
for Disney?
What year is that? Is that
24.
this?
April 1st. That
Is that
would have
like
been
Inside Out 2 or something?
No.
That movie apparently made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Into the billions.
Yeah.
All I'm getting is information about the parks.
Oh,
which
yeah,
makes
because
sense.
it's linked to the parks, isn't it? Oh, yeah, right.
I do not love Galaxy's Edge, by the way. Not that
No, it's
that's
garbage.
ever gonna get me a pass
It's
into
garbage.
there or anything.
No.
I think building a lightsaber was cool, but I think for that to be a $200 experience is so crazy.
Let me show you this. Yeah, but their lightsaber is just this massive, clunky, freaking. Look at that, Ubisoft.
Wow. Oh man. Oh man.
Last month.
Is that all Outlaws?
I'm sure it is. Look at this. Look, Outlaws came out end of October, and that's when it was at its peak, and then it just started.
Oh, that was fast. Jeez.
6 months.
So
like,
you
it
played
was strong literally until Outlaws.
Wow.
Literally until Outlaws. Talk about
You
something
said you
that can
did
actually...
play Outlaws?
Yeah, and I'll probably continue. I stopped for like a week, and I'm like, you know
Uh-huh.
what? Let me just continue for the memes. Why not?
For the memes.
Yeah, why not? It's fun.
And did you see that Cal Kestis might be making a jump to live action? I know that that's not really new news.
I saw that. What is that something that Cameron Monaghan said?
I'm not. No. It comes from like a leaker, I believe.
Oh, really?
So, but if you remember, they were talking about it last year that like Cal Kestis was supposed to come up, like appear somewhere in the future. There was even rumors he was going to be in Kenobi.
He's supposed to be in The Mandalorian.
In this new movie?
Cal Kestis live action debut. You rumored, will the Mandalorian Grogu return after upcoming... Oh, wait, no, they just essentially put it into 2 articles. This Daniel Richmond guy again is reporting that Cal Kestis is coming to live action on Disney Plus. Whether this
Disney
means a
Plus.
project... Sorry, I'm going to save everyone's eyes here. And development of the character will appear in another upcoming series is not clear, but with the game set between the events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Cal showing up in season 2 of Ahsoka seems unlikely, as does an appearance in Skeleton Crew. I don't think it seems unlikely in Ahsoka. I think that's possible.
Yeah, I know that they also said that the third game would be his last game. Now, even though I don't like playing the Fallen Order games per se, I have watched all of it, and I am a gigantic Cal Kestis fan.
Yeah.
I think he's really strong.
Here's what Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy had to say about the possibility of a live-action Cal Kestis project during a 23 interview. Oh, I've seen a lot of chatter online about that. It could be really interesting. It's not something that's front and center right at the moment, of course, because the Acolyte is. But what's interesting in the company that we do is that everybody across all these different lines of business, we all talk to one another. You? Is that what happened with the sequel trilogy, Kathleen?
Oof.
Is that why no one knew what the hell was going on? I don't believe a thing that comes out of her mouth.
I would hope that they all talked talk to one another. That just, you would hope that would just be baseline common practice.
Isn't that just common sense that if you're working like
on Star Wars? Yeah, no, they should all be working together for sure. And the fact that she even has to say that indicates to me that it has not always been like that, and that it may not be like that now.
I don't think it's like that at all.
Do you think it's just she just goes around greenlighting whatever she wants because of goodwill that she's
I don't know.
garnered?
Yeah, I think she just I think the problem is because she has, in my opinion, zero grasp of what Star Wars is and zero real passion for it. Like everyone can like something, but I don't think she understands it the way George does. And if anyone wants to argue that, I mean, that's you. I don't think you're sound of mind because George Lucas loves it like his children. Kathleen Kennedy sells it out to the highest bidder and gives it to anybody that just walks into Lucasfilm without really doing any sort of look. How can you trust someone who doesn't know what these characters are, or who they are, or what's backstory they have? I mean, for God's sake, she didn't even know that there was any lore content. She's like, we don't have books. We don't have thousands of, what did she say? We don't have thousands of pages of extended lore and all this.
She did say
legend.
that.
Yeah, I mean, how can you say such a thing as the president of Lucasfilm? How can you say that? I don't believe she has a single clue about anything. If someone were to get her into a room or on an interview and be like, "Can you tell me about Luke Skywalker? Can you tell me about who's Anakin Skywalker? Fuck, can you tell me about
the guy that blew up the Death Star?"
Yeah, can you tell me about, it's like pick any Jedi on the Jedi High Council in the prequel trilogy. She'll be like, I fucking know, like who's Evan Peel?
She wouldn't
can
know.
You just tell me at least who he is or what he looks like or anything? Like, no, but you ask Dave Filoni, he'll know. So it's like, why wouldn't the president of Lucasfilm know this kind of stuff?
You ask Scott Beatty, he'll know.
If she's supposed to take George's place, and George knew a lot of this information because he created these guys, shouldn't she as well? Shouldn't she have watched all of the Clone Wars and studied it? I don't think she takes this seriously. And if she did, we wouldn't be getting the garbage ass products that we do. And they wouldn't be losing millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Correct. And that's the big thing. You can't just have people that understand filmmaking making Star Wars. You have to have people that also understand Star Wars.
Bro, I would even argue that these people that they hired don't understand filmmaking. Are you telling me that Leslie Headland understands filmmaking? I mean, let's take away the Star Wars IP and the Acolyte. The show was, I don't even know where to begin.
I have in my own head thinking the Acolyte is like separate even from anything Disney's done, if that makes sense, because it is such a deep cut to pick Leslie Headland to direct this project and to give her this much money, considering her lackluster track record, should we say?
Yeah.
Which again means that people are getting in the door based off of, their connections and not their skill. The fact that to get the again, we talked about this earlier, but the Obi-Wan project wasn't even on their radar. That's like one of the first 3 things that everybody talked about. So how plugged in are the people at Lucasfilm really? Because they're plugged in enough to tell us that our Snoke theories are ass and that they suck.
Yeah.
But they're not plugged in enough to know that we want an Obi-Wan show. Does that mean that the creatives are solely looking in the parts of the internet where they are being, hated upon, and then they just completely, or even legitimate criticism, and just completely throwing away anything we say in regards to what we may like to see as a legitimate fan?
Yeah.
That's such a terrible business practice.
I'm with you. I don't know what's going on, and I don't. It's weird, bro. Like it's not that deep. It's not that difficult.
No.
Like just make good Star Wars stuff, and that's it. Like there's clearly talented writers out there, like Stuart Beattie. I mean, he could have made the freaking most amazing trilogy. We probably would have had the 3rd Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Well, Yeah, if because he pitched that in 2017 and they were going to go for it, so we probably would have had the third one coming out now.
Wow. I'm sure all
Yeah.
of our channels would sure be
Oh my
we'd rather
God,
be talking about
we
that.
we are yeah, dude, we'd both be at like 10 million subs by now.
Oh, what a beautiful thing that would be.
Yeah, yeah, that'd
I
be
I
crazy.
gotta I can't wake up every morning thinking that Star Wars is just gonna continue on this path because it's
No,
hard.
it won't. It won't. It'll change. I truly feel that there will be someone there with the right mindset for the greater good, who really respects George Lucas, and someone who thinks exactly like us and a lot of the fans out there, who's just like, man, enough of this shit. And they just come in there and they fix it all up, clean house, and get things back on track. And I think it just takes someone with a little bit of cojones to come in there and actually do this and stop pussyfooting around the bush and being like, I don't want to offend anyone. No, fuck it, offend people because we're being offended and your company's dying and the
Yeah.
IP is dying. So, this is at the end, you're at the end of the line here. Do something about it, or you're going to see the failure of the biggest IP in the world. It's that simple.
Niceties are no longer gonna cut
No,
it. You're right. You have
no,
to be
no.
more like,
Cutthroat.
no, we're not going to green light this project because we're bleeding money because of it. No, we can't
Yeah.
do a season
And
2. We're losing money.
if that means this like stupid director wants to go out and say that, oh my God, they wouldn't green light my story. They're racist and sexist. It's like, no, maybe it's just a garbage ass show. Why don't you bring me a good script and we'll put in whoever you want as the antagonist and protagonist, and we'll leave it to the audience to decide. It's all based on story. It's all based on script. That's all it is at the end of the day. And so until they realize that and they stop trying to freaking play to every agenda that they want so that they can seem like a good person, they're going to continue to fail. And they need to realize they got to get this whole thing out of their mind that they're racist or they're sexist if they don't do this or don't do that. Like I've said a million times, make an amazing story, make an amazing script, and make the protagonist a person of color. Make the antagonist whatever you want. Make him an alien.
I'd love an alien protagonist.
Yeah, sure. And let the results speak for themselves. Everyone's gonna love it.
I think they would too.
Yeah, so it's not that deep.
It's so
You know?
hard right now because it's almost like there's a prophecy of a Lucasfilm chosen one and like foretelling them coming and bringing us better Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, he's out there somewhere. He just who knows?
Waiting. He's
He's
getting hurt.
waiting. Yeah, he's waiting. You never know. Anyways, chat. Look, we're at $6,170. Let's try to get it to 10 grand. We got 2,600 people consistently here in the chat, just under 3,000. Man, if you guys could donate $2, $2, and I know not everyone will, and there's a lot of people who can't, and we totally understand that. But this goes to a good cause, and it all goes to the kids. So please, throw your day's worth of coffee in there. $5 won't change your life, but it could change someone else's if you all pool your money in. So please.
Yeah, lots of kids, times are really hard right now and people need help. When people need
Well,
help.
chemotherapy per week, I think, is about $30,000 or something like that.
Are you
So
kidding me? Is it really that expensive?
something like that. Yeah, I remember the rep for St. Jude's was telling me this years ago, and it was something astronomical like that, or it's $10,000 a week, or something stupid. It was like a 10 and a 3, and so I mean, $6,300 that doesn't even pay for a kid's chemo for the week. So we need to raise more money.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Please. This ain't going to our pockets. I'm not talking about Theory Savers, and we're talking about let's donate. Let's donate to these kids, man.
What does the chat want us to sort of talk about? Is there any topics on here that maybe you guys want to hear us bring up?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Especially if it'll help bring the donations up. If you donate, we'll answer the question much more likely.
Look at you, my man. Shit.
Listen, I gotta dip my foot in there.
Damn. Damn, Stupendous getting. He's a businessman at the end of the day. Shit.
All right, there we go. Now the chat's coming a little bit alive.
Oh yeah, come on. Yeah, wake up, guys. They're all just so entranced with what we're saying. So, right.
All right, Disney Star Wars not great. What's next, guys? How do we raise more?
Hold on here.
The lore behind Darth Revan. That's something I saw. That's an interesting question. Where would you start a Revan story?
Hold on, I saw someone said they wanted this.
Okay.
You can hear it, right?
I can't hear it.
Oh shit. What? Chat, can you guys not hear the music? Can you hear the music? Oh. Wait, so you're telling me in the beginning when I had the... Oh my gosh.
What is this?
Okay. Hold on.
I agree. That's where I would start. I'd do a Mandalorian Wars with young Revan, I think.
Can you hear it now?
That guy says I can hear the music, but I'm high.
What? Why? Ugh. It's frustrating. Come on.
You can't play. Oh, you can't play copyright music on charity streams.
No, you're just sharing the screen.
Oh, would they block it for copyright? The YouTube copyright system is so frustrating. I know that's this whole you're guilty until you're proven innocent type argument. I don't know if you've had to deal with a lot of that copyright stuff before. I've had a few.
Okay, what about now? No? Can't hear it?
I can't.
Fuck, I give up. Whatever. I'll just vibe out to music on myself. All right.
We'll get him next time.
Yeah. Whatever. Okay, so what were some of the questions?
People wanted to know about Revan a little bit. They wanted us to talk about our thoughts on Rebels. I saw. Yeah, a lot of it is some Revan talk. I guess where would you open a Revan movie? I think it would be interesting at the start of the Mandalorian Wars.
Yeah, I'd probably go all the way back in time. I'd probably show the state of the Old Republic, and yeah, go to the very beginning, essentially.
Oh, here's a good one, man. And this is a question I've had for you for a while. What's your take on the Mace Windu Palpatine duel? Like, is that a legitimate Mace Windu victory?
I don't think so.
That's what I think too, but I get attacked whenever I say that. Like crazy. But
Yeah.
sometimes I feel grateful because it's like at least they're attacking me for lore and not an Acolyte opinion.
Yeah.
Which is quite refreshing.
When times were more simple.
Yeah,
Attacked
exactly.
for having wrong opinion about lore. Those were the best times. Yeah, no, I think my head canon for that is like, nah, Palpatine essentially knew exactly what was happening. But I've talked to other people and like Matthew Stover and this and that, and but then Nick Gillard, and he's like, no, it's like Palpatine, he was just faking the whole thing. I even asked Ian McDermott, man. I asked him and I said, do you think Palpatine threw the fight? And he's like, yes.
Yeah,
He
that
did
would
it all
make
on
sense
purpose.
to me.
Yeah, so I mean,
I know the book with the whole Vapad or Vapod and the superconductive loop that it makes with Palpatine.
yeah.
And the idea that that is only achievable because he's the avatar of the dark side, which a lot of people ask questions like, oh, would that mean that Mace Windu would beat Dooku easily? And it's like, not really, because Dooku's not a perfect avatar of the dark side, which
No.
means that Mace Windu can't achieve Vapad to the level that he would need.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've always thought of it like
But
Windu meets the perfect foil, and that's how he
the
makes it match.
problem with Windu is he's so overpowered with Shatterpoint that
Yeah.
it's like, what's the point of this guy? Like he can just defeat anybody essentially.
Uh-huh. I've heard the theory of, and a little bit of it is hinted in the books, where it's like Palpatine manipulates Mace's Shatterpoint. He makes him sense fear, and he's pulling from Anakin's fear. But Windu is under the impression that he is sensing Palpatine's fear, but
Mhm.
in reality, he was never afraid of
Sensing
Windu
his
at
own.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so sick. That's such a good
Yeah.
Palpatine moment.
Dude, I
He's
don't
my
think
favorite character.
there's no villain I think in of all villains of all time that is really as evil, like purely evil. Like usually like Anakin, okay, like he hated the Jedi, they held him back, his mom died, his wife died, this and that. So he has like reason for hatred. Palpatine is just fucking evil. Like he's just evil. Like he's just purely evil for no reason. The guy had, like no real reason to be as evil as he is, and he is. And I don't and he's just so cunning, so patient, so maniacal and evil that I don't know. I haven't really found another villain in comic books or anything that, for me, impresses me as much.
No. There's certainly a level of Palpatine that other villains, miss. Because a lot of times in villains,
Yeah,
their attempt is to make them sympathetic and
yeah,
understandable. But that
yeah.
attempt is never made with Palpatine intentionally. If
No,
anything, people writers that are fleshing him out are attempting to make him less sympathetic.
like for example, Thanos. Like, all right, he's trying to kill off half the population of the galaxy, but he's doing it for sort of like a greater good because of his planet having so much famine
Right.
and death. So it's like you can kind of like, even though it's like bullshit, you can kind of see like, all right, you can see his point of view. But with Palpatine, there is no fucking point of
There's
view.
no point of view.
He's just evil. He's just an evil bastard, and that's I don't know. And he's
I
just
l-
smart.
he's so like you were saying cunning. I
Yeah,
also he manipulates things in his sphere of influence that make him appear, meek or humble.
yeah,
Even the
yeah,
fact that he's
yeah,
from Naboo, for
yeah.
example, and it's like that's an independent system.
Mhm.
But I was reading today that like he intentionally doesn't dress wealthy because he wants to appear, like the common man,
Like a common. Yeah, I know, dude. He's next level.
when in
He's
reality
next
he
level.
despises the common man. He
Oh,
he thinks
he hates poor people. He hates the common. Yeah, he's like you peasant. Yeah,
they exist to serve his greater power. He
yeah,
believes that the universe has denoted him as superior to all other beings, so much so that their lives are inconsequential if
yeah,
it means that he can even go faster than the speed limit.
yeah. He just
It's
uses people as stepping stones.
it's disturbed, it's warped, it's great.
It's cool. It's
That's
so
a
cool. You know what I
that's
always wanted to do with you was to do a lore video where we both voice different parts. I think that would be really fun. Um,
your Palpatine's tough, dude. Your Palpatine's good.
oh no, I just mean like narrate, like explain lore of different things,
Yeah,
and
that would be cool.
I think that'd be cool, man.
Something that Stuart brought up that I thought was awesome was in his draft, he had a moment where Vader sort of called Palpatine out for letting Yoda go.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been so hard to
yeah,
see,
yeah,
where it's like you harp
mhm,
on my failures all the
yeah,
time, dude. What?
yeah.
How about we put a mirror in your face?
Yeah, let's put the
And
freaking magnifying on you, buddy. You let
yeah,
freaking Grandmaster Jedi Grandmaster Yoda go, and you couldn't kill him.
yeah. He's
It's
like, what's with
true.
all this talk?
Yeah, it's true. It's like you failed just as much as I did. If anything, you failed more because you didn't lose your freaking body.
Yeah. That would have been so cool to see Palpatine's expression change in the theater. where
dude, it
he's
would have
like,
been. It would have.
he's
It
like,
would
I'm
have.
just toying with this man.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why'd you let Yoda go, punk? And he just goes, oh.
Remind me to show you something after the stream, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Regarding this.
But their relationship is always so cool too, because Palpatine always refers to him as friend, but it's never meant to be complimentary
No,
ever. It's
no.
always meant as an insult.
Yeah.
Um, so he's so vile that even his compliments, it's like somehow the worst part about him.
I know. And he just does it so slyly and just like it's the best.
And you made the point on our last conversation that when he said to Starkiller, you could have been my equal. And you said that you thought that he just said that to put salt in the wound, to make him feel bad about, not reaching a potential that maybe he could or could not have reached. But a lot of times for me, I've taken Palpatine literal. So it wouldn't even, for me, I've had the bad habit of taking his manipulation and have that sort of end after Revenge of the Sith. But that's not accurate. He's very much still the politician that he was earlier.
I never take anything he says literal. Politicians can't be trusted no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
And I think with Palpatine, he knows what to say to get the votes. And in that sense, he knows what to say to people to get them to confide in him or get them to trust him or lower their guard so they see he's not much of a bad guy. So he's always doing stuff to stroke the ego. He did the same thing with Anakin, like they don't trust you, Anakin. And you're
Mm.
just like he was the whole time just inflating Anakin's ego more and more and more. And I think this is just his habit, his way of just getting people to be on his side. He's just a
Yeah.
master at manipulating.
Maybe if Alex had been more complimentary, it would have worked out better.
To me?
To anybody.
Yeah, to anybody. Yeah, I know.
I also going back to the Kenobi script, since you brought up Anakin, I thought it was so cool and so profound that in the original script, that Obi-Wan was repeating the same mistakes that they made with Anakin, with
Mhm.
Luke,
Yeah.
and that he was sort of forcing this predetermined destiny upon Luke.
Yeah.
Because originally, Anakin wants to be a Jedi, but he doesn't understand what it means to be a Jedi. What
Yeah.
Anakin really wants is freedom.
Yeah.
He doesn't, which is ironic because all he got was an exchange of chains when he joined the Jedi, right?
Yep. I
So
know.
this idea that Obi-Wan would push these same chains upon Luke and in the process realize that what he's doing is dangerous and wrong and that he's making the same mistakes again is a really profound moment for that character to have.
Yeah.
And if we could have
I know.
just gotten that.
It would have been quite amazing. But
So
alas.
if you're able to talk about it, I had a question about sort of Vader's involvement. I wasn't 100% clear how Vader necessarily gets involved in that original idea. I know the opening, but does word get out of Obi-Wan's direct location and he goes there personally? Was he intended to be like the big fight for a first film? Was it going to be build up?
Mm, I think that's something I can answer after we stream.
All right, gotcha. Totally. I
Um,
don't want to say step on anyone's work.
no, but yeah.
Oh,
um,
ugh. I want a Kenobi season 2. I'm not gonna lie. I like Asherad
yep.
Het.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
that's where I would go with the story.
That's not a bad idea.
But it is unfortunate because it's kind of like this is the villain after Vader. But I also feel like just because something is a lower scale story doesn't mean it's not worth telling.
No, I agree.
And I mean, if you introduced Asherad Het, which for those watching that may not know, Asherad was a Jedi that essentially turned to the dark side, cutting his way out of Order 66. And he embraces the dark side and returns to his Tusken heritage of Tatooine and becomes sort of like a Tusken chieftain warlord. And Obi-Wan comes into direct opposition to Asherad. But what's cool about Asherad is his importance then echoes into the legacy comics, and he impacts and is the main antagonist to a lot of the Skywalker bloodline. So that's just an example of either going far into the future or far into the past that just breaks open your story. And when I tell you that if the mainstream audiences saw the design of Asherad Het, they would freak out. It is so good.
Mhm.
And his character is so good. Darth Krayt, after the Krayt Dragons. You could have a whole speech in Kenobi season 2 about the Krayt Dragons and how Asherad admires them, admires their, their versatility. And you could even drop back to older lore where some of the ancient Jedi speculate that the Krayt Dragons could be Sith war beasts. Now, that's a part of the lore that it's not ever confirmed, but it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, and that's where I think they should have taken the sequel trilogy. If they weren't going to do what George did, they could have done it on him. And
Yeah, they could
you know,
have.
there's so much connection there with how he fought Anakin in the comics, and then they joined all forces, and he was okay, and then he went back to being dark, and it's like, I
He's
think it just would have
important for
been,
Anakin.
yeah, I think it would have been pretty interesting if they went in that time frame, that vision for that guy, but oh well,
Yeah,
it's
Disney
done
was
now.
like, this is our plate pen, We don't want your Legends toys.
Well, that's always what I thought. I was like, why are they're like creating, it's like, what do they owe George royalties or something if they use R2 and C3PO? Because they kind of sidelined them for the sequel trilogy and created their own BB-8 and whatever else they did.
You know why
So,
I think that is, man? I think that
why?
they wanted to sell toys. I
Yeah.
think that the real money in Star Wars has always been in the toys.
I bet you George had some diabolical terms for his contracts with the toys. I
Yeah, I bet he
bet you.
did.
I
Cuz
bet you, bro.
he
Yeah.
called that shit decades ago.
Yeah, decades, man. That's where he made his billions. Was the
Mhm.
toys, the merchandise.
But that would just be that's what I would guess. That's why we talked about last time. Every new stormtrooper has like the mark on his right arm instead of his left arm, and everyone has to go buy the toy. And
Hmm.
there's a new helmet out.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I know. It's the toys that make the money.
But if it's cool, I I think it is an absolute travesty that I do not own a single Luke Skywalker sequel figure, because when they announced that they were having Star Wars sequels, I was so hyped to get any sort of Luke figure. But after I've seen the movies, I don't even want one anymore.
No, I don't want one. I don't want a Luke Skywalker sequel trilogy figure. Hell no. That's not
I'll just
Luke.
get the Return of the Jedi one.
Yeah, exactly. So, fair enough. Why not?
All right, guys, how we doing? 7,000. That's a lot better.
7,094. Yeah, a lot better. We're almost at 10. So, I mean, pour them in, man. Let's see. Couple bucks. Why not?
Yeah, it's like you said, just throw in your morning coffee.
Morning coffee, yeah. Doesn't even have to be that expensive. Sometimes people's coffees are like $10. But just throw in your I don't know, $5, $4, something like that, man. And the power of many.
That is the one good thing to come out
That's
of
the
the Acolyte.
one good thing, bro. That's the one good thing.
I
This
could
is getting out
not
of hand. Now there are two of them.
I could not fathom that they did that in the Acolyte, and they did their little song and their little dance. I could not fathom that.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Iro says, "Hey guys, I donated, so perhaps more likely to answer." Yeah, guys, when you donate, just send in your question here in the chat, and we'll read it. Theory: how does it feel knowing Dave Filoni, Favreau, and possible Mr. George Lucas himself will see Vader Episode 2? Ask me that several years ago, and I would have been like, "Oh my god, like it's amazing." I honestly, except for George, I don't really care anymore. I just want the subscribers to enjoy it. I want, the people like me, like fans, like of Star Wars, of what George made, to enjoy it. Um, I'm kind of starting to see that, Dave Filoni's doing his own thing with Lucasfilm, and as time goes on, I'm not sure how I feel anymore about what he's been doing. After the Acolyte, ask me before the Acolyte came out, I was the biggest Dave Filoni defender and stuff, but now I'm confused. So, I got to wait for his next project to see kind of what happens. And with Ahsoka season 2, with season 1 at the end there, I don't really know what happened with that either. Jon Favreau, I think season 1 and season 2 was amazing of The Mandalorian. Book of Boba Fett, I don't know what the hell happened. And Mandalorian season 3, I don't know what the hell happened with that either. So I don't care really if they see it. I just want people to like it. I just want the fans to like it and my subscribers who got me here to like it, and for it to feel a smidge, to give you that bit of like delight that you had when you watched Star Wars, George Lucas Star Wars, and to just realize that the dream is still alive, man. Star Wars is still alive, and it's in all of us, and I think that's what George Lucas wanted, and that's, as long as we're here, we'll continue to remind people that that's what Star Wars is. And if they want to deviate from that, then that's unfortunate. But hopefully they'll bring it back, and we can talk about the stuff that we do enjoy and do like, and call out the stuff we don't. But yeah, I just hope the fans like Vader episode 2 and 3. That'd be amazing. And if Dave Filoni and John like it, I mean, hell, I'd rather they like it than dislike it. That'd be great.
Yeah, well said. That would be really cool, though. The idea that George would see something that you made and something that you put time in, that would be pretty special, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What was sort of your thinking when you first started out with the fan project? Was it like, I'm such a fan of making the what ifs that I want to create like a bigger picture one?
Yeah.
That's how it started?
Yeah. I wanted to do, because like when we were starting, we were making good money, and it was like, holy shit, like, I could either keep this or I can go ahead and make something cool that I want to see. And I'm like, I want to see this. I want to see like a really cool production, and no one else is going to do it, so I got to do it. So then I did. I made the first episode, and it was all right. It was good, but it was really just the opening to what we planned on making, like what I wanted to have seen, and what I wanted to make with Vader and Mace Windu. It was kind of just like the what's it called? What's it called when you have a lot of talking in a show? It builds the story. Jesus.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, there's the joke about it in Dead Exposition.
Exposition, yes, that. So that was essentially the exposition, and to kind of just like test the waters, and then then I did those cinematics, and just to kind of test the waters and see like how good can animation look, and then now we're like, for sure it's gonna look amazing. So yeah, pretty stoked. But I just wanted
the
to
animation. Go ahead.
It literally just started as like, that's just something I wanted to see.
I saw someone asked about the what if that, and like why I stopped doing them, and we talked about this off recording, but the story gets away from you at an astronomical speed. So it's all of a sudden you have 10 story threads that you have to manage when you just really had this one question conceptually.
Yeah. And I found it. Did you find it easier to make fan fictions in the beginning when you weren't as big?
Yeah, there was a lot of freedom,
less pressure.
Yeah. I could just throw something at the wall and be like, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? And I didn't think it had to be even completed.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. But the part about the writing and the sharing it is fun, but it's also just fun collaborating with your friends about what ifs. That was truthfully my favorite part of the whole process.
Yeah.
Was like, what would happen if so and so, like, what would happen if Palpatine never found out that Galen Merrick was Vader's secret apprentice and Vader had been able to keep that under wraps?
Have you done
You
this
know,
one?
I haven't. No, it's just something that I was
Do it.
talking with one of my friends about.
Do it.
Oh, but there's a ton of pressure there because I want it to be good,
Oh,
right?
do it. So when I found that problem, I started to do versions, different
Okay.
versions of the same fan fiction, and they would just have different endings. Because I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I can't decide on what ending I want, so let's do this ending and let's do another ending, and
Yeah.
it just makes it much more tolerable to even like get a story out. Because I know I'm so bad at endings in the sense where I just can't choose. I
Yeah.
don't know how this wants. How do I want this Star Wars story to end? Like, it's just
My problem is that I never do want it to end. I don't even look at Star Wars as like a complete narrative all the time. Like it's
yeah,
an evolving narrative.
yeah.
And if it's evolving in real time away from your story, that can be intimidating. But it's still so fun to do.
What did you find was the hardest part for you starting out?
Just in
Just
YouTube in
making videos.
general,
Yeah, making videos, Star Wars videos. Hard. Like, what was like it was a bit difficult.
the mean comments in the beginning are so hard
Hmm.
because in your mind, you're not really detracting from anything. You're just sort of adding an idea about a franchise that you like, or, you think the story could go somewhere. And the fact that people will take that so personally and will attack you and say that this video that you made is trash or that you are trash
Yeah, yeah,
is certainly disheartening, because all you're trying to do in reality is to make a connection with another fan. At least that's
yeah.
how it started.
I know.
So the fact that that could go downhill so quickly was unfortunate, but most are not like that.
No.
In reality, I'm just trying to say is that I've been really blessed with this occupation and this job, and that the upsides of it have been so much greater than the downsides of it. I literally get to hop on here and talk about like my favorite franchise and raise money for sick kids. Like that
Yeah.
is just the perfect evening. And now I can go watch The Penguin after this and actually enjoy it, unlike Josh apparently.
He's probably falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to
No,
watch
I
it, man.
yeah.
If you like crime thrillers, you'll like The Penguin.
I love crime thrillers. Yeah.
So what was your hardest part starting out?
Mm, the hardest part starting out. Jeez.
Sometimes another problem of mine was I didn't know what my channel was for a long time.
How so?
I like my name, the Stupendous Wave, is just my real name put in a superhero name generator. There was never meant to be a specific, singular franchise that I talked about or focused on. But I just had to make the decision that, you know, more people, the overwhelming majority of the people are here for Star Wars. Let's go all in.
Would you be open to combining your other interests on your channel?
Not
Like,
on the Stupendous Wave. That is my love letter to Star Wars, um, and the work and the lore that I found. But other channels opening up, talking about other stuff that I like, definitely is something that I do. Like I said, I had the Marvel channel.
yeah.
I have the Marvel channel. I also love horror movies, like
Hmm.
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like horror movies at all.
Love horror movies. Yes.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Halloween's my favorite time of the year. I
Me
actually made
too.
my first pumpkin last night.
Really?
Yeah. I'll show you a picture.
Dude, please.
Yeah.
Halloween is my favorite time of the year as well. And
That's
I know we talked
crazy.
about this.
No, I don't really
Um,
know anybody that loves Halloween as much as I do, and it's nice. It's nice when you find a fellow Halloweeny,
I
fellow
I
pumpkin head.
pick Halloween over Christmas and Thanksgiving every time. I'm sorry, but I just
Yeah.
do.
Me too.
The pumpkins are so cool. I have 2 black cats, so is that your dog?
Yeah, that's one of my dogs.
Awesome.
So she was just there. Just a very generic jack-o'-lantern, but hey man, it's 'tis the season
Yeah.
to get spooky.
If you could do a Star Wars horror movie, what would you do? Do Snoke. Have that be a horror movie. Group of Jedi finding an
Be-
ancient entombed entity.
Yeah, that storyline is the shit. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Darth and Didu. You could do Darth Scion. Mm,
What about like Project Blackwing?
Red Harvest.
Yeah. Dude, there's so much potential for horror in Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Star Weirds, those are cool. Terrible name.
Star Weirds?
Yeah, the Star Weirds, they're like the embodiments of the dark side that float through the unknown regions. They're attracted to force sensitives. They feed upon them. The Star Weirds come originally from an RPG source book, I want to say, but one made their way to canon this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, in a comic. They're cool because they're the dark side, but they're not defined dark side, if that makes sense.
I think Darth Treya, she reminds me of a witch.
Yeah, no, she's cool.
She'd be freaky.
Treya, the Old Republic had some wild stories too, with like Treya wanting to destroy the Force itself.
Yeah.
That always that always felt very big picture to me.
They can do whatever they even Mother Talzin and stuff like why not make a whole
She's
movie on
cool,
just them.
but she's all lip service. Like
yeah, just talk.
I don't know if you felt that way, but like there are characters in Star Wars that are entirely lip service in terms of their power.
Yeah.
Like Talzin is even mentioned in the novel about Plagueis being, a little bit apprehensive about working with her. And it's like, what has this chick done for real?
Well, Palpatine feared her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's just like that's all I have though is a line.
Yeah.
That, like the most powerful force wielder alive at the time fears this person. Why? Because they use a form of the dark side that he's not familiar with.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. No, it's cool though. But I mean, like, they could totally go into a story with that. It'd be fun. Why not?
Yeah, why not? There's a wealth of ideas.
That's the thing. They could do so much, but they just don't. They just focus on weird stuff.
A Mother Talzin. I mean, I'm sure you would watch a Mother Talzin series if it was.
Why not? Yeah, who wouldn't? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's a female protagonist.
Yeah. Oh no. So back to your question, the hardest part for me with the channel, I can't really think of one, to be honest. I think just I would say now. I don't think back then it was bliss. I would say now it's just like anything you say gets turned against you and you're like an immediate racist or a sexist or something. It's just like it's wild. But I don't know. I'm thankful for the way I was raised and just I don't know, being bullied and stuff in school. I don't care. But my God, if I was like a weak person, man, I'd never go to my channel again. So
that's so sad.
Not really. It's just life.
Yeah.
Life.
You mentioned something about that in like your interview. You were like, I'm completely fine if people, take me at what they want to, as long as, I was raised the right way. What was the quote that you said that your dad said? Once you get the gold.
Oh, wait, it doesn't matter if you get the gold, matters what you become in pursuit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be how, everybody operates.
Yeah, but more often than not, I think people are just focused on reaching a certain status or getting a certain goal, and they'll sell their own soul to get it. And I just don't know. That's not my philosophy. I'm not here to judge anyone on that, but I sleep pretty good at night knowing who I am and the decisions I've made and the opportunities I've turned down to just because I didn't vibe with the morality of things. And yeah, Like life is all a choice. Everything is a choice in life. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's all comes down to just a bunch of different microscopic choices, and then eventually you end up in a certain. You're here or you're there or whatever. It's just all choice. So
Yeah,
it's,
definitely. That's why I've selected not to go to any of these events. I didn't want that input or that experience to affect how I felt about future Star Wars projects, because I could sort of see the trajectory headed away from what I would like to see the franchise do. And once you sort of, latch your, you know, trailer to that hitch, it's pretty secure.
yeah, no, good on you, man, for seeing that, because I didn't. I came in so rapidly that uh you know I guess you kind of I don't know, man. What like he tried to just befriend me, I guess, and then but ended up just talking shit about me the whole time. So you wouldn't you don't know these things when you come in there. You kind of like put your head down because you're like just blowing past everyone in terms of um subscribers, and then like that's just like you just kind of feel bad. You're like, oh well, obviously, clearly this guy is jealous, but he's I don't know,
It's
whatever.
needlessly taxing on a relationship that could have been something else, something beneficial. And when I say beneficial, I'm not even just talking monetarily. I'm just meaning individual to individual.
Yeah, human to human. Because you and I do pretty well for ourselves, and we have for years, so it's nothing new. And we can both like money doesn't like I don't know when I talk to you, I don't think about like money or like oh he's a big YouTuber. I'm just like this dude is. We're the same. Like we're on the
Star Wars
same
fan.
plane. Yeah, like we're just two humans, and we're I don't know like that's it's all just ruled out. It like nullifies, and it's cool because it's like there is no. There's nothing you want from me. There's nothing I want from you other than friendship. And that's
Yeah.
cool. I think that's why it works. There's no like it's nice.
Yeah, exactly. It came about organically. I wasn't it was never the intention to gain anything by writing the original post. It was
Yeah.
just like this is what it is.
No, I know
And
because you already made your success. There's nothing I can give you, and there's nothing you can give me. And I think that's like that's dude,
that's
that's what
awesome.
you want. Yeah, it's because it's like the yeah.
Well, that's what you wanted in the beginning. You just wanted, a healthy community where, it's about the friendships that you make, not about the money you make.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where people are financially, but like you're saying, at this point in my life and at this point in your life, this is the more important, connection rather than monetarily.
Yeah. I mean, everyone obviously wants to make money because in this game of life, they've created money as like the structure for the quality of life you can have in certain senses. But I think that if you're able to separate that and just look at the end of the day, we're all just humans and we're all just doing our best and trying to do our best, then you see the person for who they are. They're another human. And at the end of the day, if you take money and stuff away from things, away from scenarios, everyone's the same. They need food, they need water, they need shelter, they want to feel loved. That's it, you
Yeah.
know? And
You know
so
what I
it's
really want?
eh,
I would
good Star
love
Wars project.
I would love to reach 10K before this donation stream is over. Come on,
Yeah.
guys, please.
Yeah. We're 2.5 hours in. We're at 73. I know we didn't really advertise this, but we appreciate it, man. But I'd love to hit that 10K. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
That
So
would
if you
be.
all could, do like a blitz donation of like $3 or $5 or something, and just throw it in there, and let's go from. Well, you know what? Maybe I can get this on screen, and maybe we can like. Hold on.
If you guys got any questions, I guess for other Star Wars content creators, just sort of my piece would be honest about how you feel about projects, and don't let, a dip in subscriber count or, the comment section turning on you in one video. Don't let that dictate the way that you feel about something. There's going to be, you know, it, the YouTube game, if you will, is not always an upwards trajectory. Sometimes there are downs. And if you're honest to yourself, it's easier to go into the future feeling better about not only Star Wars, but about yourself.
Yeah.
But if it means enough to you, if you are a bigger Star Wars, if you want to be a Star Wars content creator yourself, you do have to sacrifice if you're tying yourself to a franchise a little bit that, maybe you don't agree with. And some people are willing to make that trade and some people aren't.
Life is just it's a timeline, and it essentially you give up your time and you get something in return. So that could be, you focus on boxing. Well, you're giving up your time to focus on boxing. So, you're going to get better at that. Weightlifting, YouTube. But then it can also go another, like you focus on like drinking alcohol and partying. You're going to fall deeper and deeper into that. And you're giving up your time for wherever that leads you, or whatever kind of life you want to focus on. So it's, you got to be careful where you put your time, and you only have so much of it. So.
Yeah. That's something that as I get older, I am realizing is that, time is precious, and I want to spend it with people that care about me and that people that I care about. I don't want to spend my time lying on the internet about Star Wars.
No, that's not really the point. Cool. We're at 76. So let's try to make it to 8.
Let's go, guys.
And then from 8, we'll try to make it to 8.1, and we'll just keep going. So you guys got the live counter right there. We'll see how far we can take this. And I love how, it's just you and I doing this, and there's nobody else actually like pooling together to be like, hey, like we want to be part of this, but they're the first person to be like, they're this and that and the other thing, and it's like, no, true colors, man.
No, yeah, no, I don't want to speak for I speak for both of us when I say we wanted to do this stream as to start off on a good foot. It's not about politics. It's about recognizing others and their opinion, and showing that Star Wars fans can have a polite, insightful conversation still, and have differing opinions, but not think the other person is somehow bad. Like, I don't get that. I don't get how you think that I dislike the Acolyte, therefore you think that my quality as a person is less, because I don't think that of you. If you like the Acolyte, I may think that what you're doing is shitty when you attack people because they didn't like a thing that you made. But there's a difference between, criticism and attack. And you're not responsible for your audience. If a member of your audience goes out and, says something awful to someone else, that doesn't mean that you support it just because they watch you. That would be a terrible way to go through life, because every single one of us would be guilty by association at some point or another. Yeah, it's tiring.
At the end of the day, I just let people have their narrative, and that's fine. We just got to keep doing our own thing and stay true to our values, and that's it.
So I saw a question pop up asking about Tales of the Sith. What sort of plot lines would you want to follow? How many stories did Tales of the Jedi have? Did it have like 3 separate characters that it followed? It was
Tales
Dooku,
of the Jedi
Ahsoka.
had 2. It was Dooku and it was Ahsoka.
Okay, that's all they did.
Yeah.
So if you were to do Tales of the Sith, how would you structure that? Who would you want to follow?
Dooku.
100%.
Yeah. The Ahsoka stuff they did was kind of boring. I wasn't really.
I agree.
Yeah. I think the Dooku stuff has so much potential where they can just really. Dude, it's Dooku's such an underrated character that like the mainstream people don't really know much about him. I think there is so much to explore with him that it would be really fun. And of course, how it connects to the Jedi and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and
he's literally one of the best characters in the whole franchise.
He is. Yeah.
I was reading in Labyrinth of Evil where Dooku says, "Why is it the Jedi's decision whether or not the light side is the dominant force in the galaxy? Why do they get to make that? You know, if the galaxy produces light and shadow, why does this group feel it is their duty to determine which has power at which time? And
Yeah.
that just blew my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Where Dooku says, I'm going to do things that I'm going to compromise my own morals for my larger goal. Dooku lost sight of who he was for the gold, but the gold isn't gold in Star Wars. Gold is power.
I think I would really like to see that massive decade gap between episode 1 and 2 and all the things that the Sith were doing in the shadows and like how Dooku was being manipulated, well, I guess, and kind of like turned to the dark side, and also all the stuff he was doing with the cloning facility. And I would love to see what Yoda found when he went to the cloning facility on Camino.
Yeah, that would be a crazy scene. What are your thoughts about canon changing the timeline of Dooku's turn to the dark side? Because in Legends, he turns
Yeah.
after Qui-Gon is killed, right? But in canon, he leaves the Jedi and he's
Before.
affiliated with the Sith beforehand.
I like legend stuff more, man. I don't, canon
Yeah.
coming in there after, after Disney, in my opinion. You want my real answer? I think all the Disney stuff is not real. It's fake. It's legends. And then all the legend stuff that was there when George was in power, I think that for the most part is canon.
Yeah.
But I can recognize that factually that's incorrect.
Right. There's nothing wrong with headcanon. There's nothing wrong with like, I'm going to take this part of the lore and this is what I'm going to follow. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I don't know why people think that way.
I don't know either. I have no idea.
If people want to say that their Star Wars is just the Acolyte, I genuinely do not have a problem. I don't understand, but I don't have a problem.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Thank you, Anonymous. Donated $30. Appreciate you. Thanks, Fidaldo McDonald. Godlike Machine sends $5. Jacob
Thank you,
sends
guys.
$5. J Boy Knackard sends $5 from New Zealand. I'll be sending in that change for these kids. Appreciate it.
Acolyte is not canon. Would you decanonize the Acolyte right now if you had a decanonize button right in front of you?
It already is decanonized, bro. They didn't even get a second season. It's not real.
That's true. That's a good point.
It didn't happen.
In the comics, they're going to be like Plagueis was there once.
Yeah, bullshit.
Like he just refueled his spaceship and bounced.
Bro, bullshit. He's just like, who the fuck are these guys?
Who are these guys? Who are these home intruders?
Like, what are these? It's weird. All right, I'm getting off this planet.
Yeah, no, I'm out. In Legends, in the book, he runs across Baldemnik, which visually always made me giggle a little bit. This idea that he's like running across continents on this world to try to escape.
Well, they need to make that book a freaking $50 from Anonymous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And $5 Canadian from Zuhair. Thank you, Zuhair. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing well. Or what are we at? 7,901. So we're almost at $8,000, which means we're only $2,000 left to hitting our goal. Rick, man, like that'd be amazing. Be 10 grand. That's literally a chemo treatment for a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for one little baby. It means a lot, especially to the parents who don't have the funds. And this is why fundraising actually happens, and it actually goes to them. So it's not like some bullshit, when you check out at a grocery store. Would you like to donate to Made Up Foundation for
They flip
$2?
the thing around on you.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I already donate every year to Children's Hospital.
Thank you,
And if I'm gonna-
Tipless McGee,
Yeah.
$5. Chad Blakely, 5 Canadian.
Yeah, we gotta call out their names. That's what I've been doing wrong. Thank you, Oddsy, donated $5. Anonymous donated $50 again.
Wow, thank you.
Crack donated 5. I love waffles. My illegitimate son donated $10. I donated 20. Says esoteric videos. Do you think if Stewart was given control of Kenobi season 2 and also was allowed to do a few additional shots and re-edit season 1, he'd be able to fix it? I don't think he'd be able to fix
Ooh,
that junk. No.
that's a gigantic undertaking.
Yeah. Guys, we're about to hit 8K.
Let's go.
Oh, dude, we're almost there. $3. $3. $3. Let's go, baby.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Oh, 8,000. We're now officially under $2,000 left to hit that marker.
We're so
of 10.
close, guys.
We're so freaking close, dude. Come on. We got the world's 2 biggest Star Wars YouTubers. We're begging you for your money to help these kids, man.
I promise 100%. I won't do it tonight, but if we reach 10K, I will 1,000% show my face on the show.
There you go. There you go. I
But
think that would
only
make
if
it
we
so
get
much more
10K, I will fade into obscurity.
Yeah, dude, your life's gonna change for the better. I think.
66. Thank you
Just
for
a-
$66.
$66. Thanks, Deep Space Pilot. $20. Bro, guys, like share this around. Like we're, no shame, bro. I'm gonna try to plug this as much as I can. Share this around to all your friends right now. We got a live fundraiser going on. Let's make it happen.
Tweet about it.
Yeah, tweet about it. Freaking get it out there, dude. This is for a good cause. We're not asking for money for. This is not YouTubers being like, pay us money. This goes directly to the foundation. So, we appreciate it, man. Thanks, Romez. $5. Anonymous donated $5. Tristan donated $20. Benjamin
Thank
donated
you.
$5. Imperial Buckethead donated $20. Damn, it's rolling in. You're rolling in. Keep it going,
Thank you,
baby.
guys.
Anonymous with 5 bones. Carl Wilkstrom with 5 bones. And Mojat with 5. Oh my God, it's going so fast now. Holy shit. Michael with $5. What's happening, you guys? You all starting to just.
They woke up, dude.
They got visions of these kids that are sick and their parents are. Bro, I seen it all in the hospital, man. I could paint a horrible picture of what's going on there. It's not. It's. We're doing a good thing. So every bit matters. Every dollar matters. You can write it off as a charity expense, dude. You don't got to pay Uncle Sam for this shit.
No, sir.
Double check with your accountant. I'm not.
We are not professional financial advisors. We are Star Wars YouTubers.
$10. Anonymous donated 5. Anonymous donated 100. Thank you so much, Yava Trooper with 5. Nevin with 5. Taylor with 20. Another 20. Oh my God, it's going so fast. I don't even know. Sly Rye with 20. Joey with 5. Anonymous with 20. Blurred with 160. NOK.
What is NOK?
I think it's Norway.
Norway. Let's go. That's cool.
I'm not sure. KS with $20. Anonymous with 5. If you want your name, you got to make sure you hit. So like if you hit donate, you got to make sure you put here bang. So it shows your name and then you just go boom, continue.
It is Norwegian.
Is it?
Yeah. Anonymous for $5. Thank you. Sammy J 5. Gabriel Muniz 20. Thank you, Gabriel.
Bro, it won't go away now.
Good. This is a phenomenal problem to have.
Hold on. I got to send in another 200 then.
Thirsty for chicken 50. All right. Let's go. What's our total right now? How we looking?
All right. Another $200
$86.60.
sent in.
All right, you're calling me out. I got to do it too.
I'm calling you. I just called you out, dude. So now we'll be at $400 each. That's wild. 400 bones.
Going to a good cause, guys. Literally directly to St. Jude's.
Dude, we're
My
almost
card was declined. No.
What happened?
If
to
it-
you? Used to be... Dude, it probably thinks it's fraud.
It definitely does. No.
Oh no!
I promise it's me.
You are the Sith Lord. J. Kane with the 5.
Let's try to.
Thirsty for chicken for
I got to use
5.
a different card.
Damn, my man got different cards. Shit. Pulling out that platinum. It's that YouTuber money coming out now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's good cause.
100%. 100%.
All right, man. Don't make me go. Do I even have my wallet on me? I'll be right back.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah, I'm gonna say that other 200 was from Theory Savers. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Definitely. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my wallet.
Do your thing. I'll hold it down. What up, Sin City Villain? What up, Joshua? What up? Like, I'm sad we can't get the music. I don't know why we can't get music in here, but bro, we're under 1,000 now to get to 10. We got to get to that 10K. Freaking 5 digits, baby. 5. We need that. We got 2,300 people. Okay, we're almost there. Just keep going. Just keep freaking throwing it in, man. The first person to get to 100. Shit, could you imagine 100,000? First person to get to 100,000. Bro, if we did 100,000 right now. If we did 100,000 right now, I'll send the person who cracks that 100,000 in this stream $5,000.
Whoa, what did I miss?
I made a mistake. I said we're almost at that 10,000. I said we're almost at that 100, and I was like, wait, we're not at that. That'd be amazing. But if we get to like 99,000, whatever, 900 and whatever, and someone sends in an amount that gets us over 100,000, man, I'll send them in PayPal right now $5,000, which would
be so crazy. Let me see.
That'd be a big incentive, but I mean that's unrealistic.
That's a big ask.
It's not unrealistic, but it's got 2,300 people here. If they each donate $50, that'd be over yeah, that'd be wild. That'd be crazy.
I wonder why
Ozzy can't donate. Oh well, that's a YouTube issue, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why we can't. I don't know why.
It's okay, Oz. I ran into a problem too.
No, he means Australia. All of Australia.
Let me see.
I wish 100K for the kids. Well, this would, I think, push us into like 90,000 or something like that in total. But that's over like a few years. But
wow, that's still a substantial amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can check.
All right, there we go.
The Stupendous Wave with $200. So now he's at $400, which is crazy. Okay, let's see here. Giving. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so it says
thank you for the $5, Mycology. Dark Astronaut, thank you for the $2. Every bit helps. If you guys got just $2, that will help a kid out. Gosh, Theory is so much better at this than I am. I'm like, if you send money, they get it for charity.
So check this out. So this is the history of the fundraisers we've done on this channel. There's another $5,000 or $10,000 on Cobra Kai Theory. But we did 33,000. Our goal was 50. We didn't make the goal, unfortunately. But we did 95, 5. Then we did 40,000. Our goal was 30,000, which is amazing. And then we did 13. I guess this 95 is what we're doing right now. So I don't know what's the math on that. Depends on what we.
Boris for $80.
Yeah. Is this?
You're getting close to what? You said 90?
Oh, dude, this is a different stream. This is not even the stream we have right now. This is something else. Holy shit. Crazy. We're at $9,800. I'm going to bring that screen back. So what is this?
We are right there, guys.
Chat, what's the math on this shit? 33,000 plus, so that's 73,000 plus another 10 is 83,000 plus 13 is 84,000 plus another 10 tonight. Hopefully, will be 94,000 plus the 5 on Cobra Kai theory would be almost almost 100,000.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I like your idea that you mentioned earlier about getting like other YouTubers together and doing like a big one.
Yeah.
Like a big push. We should do this when there's like after a big episode of Skeleton Crew or something, or some big release.
Yeah, I think so. We're almost there. Oh, someone just did a big donation. What the hell? Hold on. Because that was not there a second ago. It was like
Bryce
99.
Griffin gave $50.
Damn, thank you, Bryce. Carl again with the 5 bones. The Azar with 20. Bring back movie magic with bro. It's going too fast now. It's 100.
Oh, we did it. There's 10K.
Yo! Thank
you guys.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it, man. I'm sure all those families appreciate it too. And yeah, fuck, that's amazing. We hit our goal.
Big episode of Skeleton Crew.
Thank you, Blair,
really
for the
funny.
$100. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
LV Asian within? LV Asian win? I don't know, bro. That's $500. $500 would be amazing.
That would be
What
crazy.
the fuck? $1,000 from Anonymous?
Whoa. Thank you,
What?
Anonymous. Wow.
Dude. Holy shit.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
That's crazy. Holy crap. I don't think I've ever seen someone donate $1,000. Really? No.
That is so cool. Your move, Star Wars Explained. Yeah, have him do a charity stream, please.
Yeah, where's Alex and Molly, bro? Like, they don't want to help sick kids? That's insane. I didn't even know you could do. I didn't know you could do anything over $500 increments.
Thank you so much, whoever anonymously donated that. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody, man. You guys are all
for real.
My grandpa used to always say, "Drop by drop, an ocean is born," and I truly believe that.
There you
Even if
go.
it's $1, man, you guys don't have to go crazy. $1 helps. You know, there's 2,400 of you almost, so $1 right there would be about $2,400, and that helps a lot of kids. This is beautiful, man. This is better than anything. This is an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it is. The stream has been so fun. As a first-time streamer, it's extremely fun.
It is fun. Wait till you do it on your own channel too.
Oh man, that would be pretty cool. I have someone who writes for me too. I call him the archivist.
Like scripts and stuff?
Yeah. He helps me out. He is so smart. His knowledge on Star Wars is so deep, and he just has such a genuine passion for it still that I used to be that, you know, when it was early YouTube, it used to be all about how much you can learn.
I have a question. Maybe I can ask you off stream, because I'm gonna need a writer for the site for Theory Sabers in probably starting November or maybe even in October, and I'm gonna pay handsomely for it to write articles and like lore articles and stuff.
Yes, I have somebody. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I would love to do it. I honestly don't have the time or the patience anymore to do it.
Yeah.
Which is probably where you're at too. After writing, you know, how many videos do you have? We both have over 3,000 videos.
Yeah, it's a substantial archive.
When you write 3,000 scripts of lore and like theories and breakdowns and stuff, you're kind of just like, all right, I'm just gonna at this point pay someone else to do it.
Yeah, so sometimes you get tired, but I still enjoy talking lore with him and like coming up with certain ideas. It's still so rewarding. I'll write ones every once in a while. I wrote one about like the whole Yoda Palpatine relationship and how Palpatine, you know, really doesn't despise Yoda to his core. It's more, you know, Palpatine respects power in all forms. And even if he disagrees with that power, he can still, you know, see value in it.
Yeah. I agree. Can you make
That's
matte
awesome.
black gold versions of all your top selling sabers like you did with the Annie Open chassis? I don't know about all, but we got we just dropped, so like we have the I don't want to make it about that. I'm not talking. I don't want to talk about it right now. Let's
I
make it
do
about the
want to
kids.
ask you about your
Anyway.
sabers, but I'll do that in a future screen.
Let's do it next
Stream.
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to plug my own stuff all that much in this stream, but yeah, let's 11,452. Let's keep it going, man. Until the
The
tornado
hurricane takes me. I should probably check where that is.
looks out his window. He's like,
I haven't
shit.
looked.
See you guys. Woo!
What's the one
Yeah.
like I'm Dorothy?
Yeah, literally. There's no place like home. There's
Let me
no
see.
place like home.
I think Tampa. This is how hurricanes in Florida work. Is they say they're going one place and then they go the exact opposite and no one's prepared.
Yeah.
Dude, I live in Central Florida. I think it was Hurricane Ian. There were fish in my buddy's like driveway. Fish.
That's wild.
I'm inland. There was a shark on the highway. A shark on the highway.
What is this? Sharknado? $150
Basically.
from Haleen. Dude, I have an idea for you and me that I just saw in this message. I donated. What are your thoughts? What are you excited for? What are you excited for in the George Lucas Museum? Oh, dude, everything, all the archives. But I think you and I should go to this together and make a vlog out of it.
Yeah, where is it?
LA.
LA.
It opens soon, I think.
That would be cool.
So you got to get that face reveal eventually.
Ah.
But like, to be honest, think about it before. I know I say it and it's like because I've done it, but think if you don't want to, don't. Right?
I'm going
'Cause
to
it's-
do it.
That's up to you, man.
I think that it would be good for me and good for the channel, and good for like this whole experience. All the people on Twitter and on here have been so supportive and kind, and it there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of great people out there that I'm missing out on the chance of talking about Star Wars with, and like you said on the other stream, connecting with them about Star Wars, because I can share the parts of the lore that I love, but I can't share the emotional value that I have with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are saying don't show the face. I'm interested to see why. Just your reasonings. I'm seeing people say not to, but not any like deeper.
People
meanings
will
as
always
to
have their
why.
input and they have their reasons, but at the end of the day, you're the one, you built your channel, and how the direction you want to take it in is up to you.
Yeah.
Speaking as your friend now and like someone who's been in the game with you, I have nothing but I think the pros outweigh any of the minuscule cons. So as long as you got thick skin, man, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what people say? They aren't rooting for you anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes that's a good point. People don't think about that. It's like they're not tuning into you because they like you to begin with. They're tuning into you because they don't like your opinion on something. So whether you're, a bubble or a face doesn't really change the way they feel.
They're going to talk shit anyways. They're just going to switch what their topic is for the talking shit.
Yeah.
His logo sucks. His face sucks. Okay, whatever, man.
Same thing.
Back to the discussion. Yeah. Whatever.
It'll certainly be an experience, but one that I look forward to with optimism.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had my face shown now for since 2018. It's almost 6 years. It's almost 7 years.
So we got into this a little bit, but when you go out, like, how often is it that people are stopping you? What's a general interaction like?
I don't really go out much. So like in my home city of Vancouver, like I'll go to the gym and I'll go to dinner. That's my extent of like going out really. Sometimes I'll go downtown, but I don't go to clubs. I don't party. You won't find me at like a lounge, or you won't find me at a bar ever.
I'm the same way. I go
I'm
to the
super
movies,
private. Yeah.
I go to dinner, and I go to the gym.
Yeah, that's it. So I get recognized at the gym. Out in the street, sometimes I get recognized just randomly. But if I'm in the States, because I'm never in the hotel room in the States, I'm always out and about doing stuff. It's very often, especially depending on the state. But you know, the ones I've gone to, New York, get recognized a lot. Los Angeles, it is a lot. It, it's yeah, it's a lot in LA. Um, um, Miami, somewhat, not as much,
Uh-huh.
but yeah. So here and there, depends
I
where you
live
go.
I live fairly close to the Disney parks. I think it would be so interesting to see what it would be like there
Well,
after a face reveal.
well, it's not like as soon as you show your face, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god!" Like you got to like rack up the views of your face being seen for like a
Totally.
while, and then they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, that's him." You know, it also helps if you have like memes thrown around about you because people will be
Like
like, "Holy shit, it's
crying
you!" Be like,
memes.
yeah, whatever. Be like, "Oh my god, is that you?" I'll say this though, I get more stares than people actually coming up to me. And you
Yeah.
know when someone's like looking at you for a long time and they're like, "Oh,
Do you ever just wave at them, or
yeah," like
just
just say, "Hey, we're," I don't know, maybe they don't like you, or maybe they're trying to figure out if you're that guy on YouTube or whatever. Um, but yeah, whatever. And then usually, like at conventions and stuff, when you pass by, they'll whisper. That's the thing that I find the most interesting is they whisper, like, "Oh my god, hey, Star Wars theory, it's that Star Wars guy." So you might get that too, but I don't know, maybe not.
in my head, I was like, whisper to you, like, I know who you are.
Yeah,
Just whispers to themselves.
yeah, yeah. I
I
don't know.
guess
To that, I
that's
just say
true.
yeah, just say hi, whatever, man.
When I think of I guess influencers or famous people I've seen, it's like, yeah, dude, I totally whisper to myself when I see them. I
Okay,
saw
chat. 11,706. Let's keep it hammering, dude. But
12K.
yeah. What do you think? You want to call it soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been so awesome. I was gonna say I saw Keith Lee at Epcot, and I certainly whispered to myself.
Who's that?
He's like the TikTok food reviewer.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna do something. You're gonna be on your own for a minute because I'm gonna go pee. So
All right,
enjoy that, bro. You hold it down. It's your
I
first
will.
live by.
This is monumental for me. What do you guys want to talk about? What gym do I go to? I go to a 24-hour gym. I'm into like a bodybuilding. I know Theory's into powerlifting and now boxing, but I like bodybuilding. Wave is so scared now. I'm totally scared. What are your thoughts on the animated Clone Wars version of Battle of Heroes? I don't know if is Battle of Heroes like that's a game, right? I don't really play a lot of the game. AI potentially taking over in Star Wars stuff. That stuff has me a little bit worried. I think that the creatives, when they go to work, are really, really, there's a very human story that inspires a lot of Star Wars. So when you integrate something that's not human, like a computer, it's kind of, it loses a lot of that sincerity. Now, I know that that could be faked, but a part of what makes Star Wars so cool is the sincerity along with a lot of the characters and a lot of the human emotions that they feel. Luke feeling really lost, and wanting adventure and wanting purpose. That's a really human thing to feel. And I don't think that an AI would really be able to replicate that perfectly. I think you still got to use technology as it advances and implement into your work as you go. But you know, I think that the human element in Star Wars is super important. They were asking about like AI dominating the future of Star Wars.
Probably have a better outcome than right now.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Someone says, "Hey, Star Wars Stupendous Wave, showing your face will most likely open up other opportunities for you. Is that something you'll leverage?" It definitely will.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely will.
I'm gonna cross those bridges when I come to them. You know, I can't
Yeah.
anticipate leveraging it without any context to a situation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben Brandt, for $5.
Thank you, Ben. All right, man. Well, I would say we reached our goal pretty good.
Yeah,
We're 3 hours into the stream now, and
first one in the books.
almost $12,000 in 3 hours. Not bad. Pretty good.
No, I'm proud of that. I'm
Yeah.
glad people showed up. Glad people donated. I'm just
Thank you
still
so much.
amazed that people want to hear my thoughts on Star Wars. Like, that's so freaking cool.
Dude, you're the OG Star Wars YouTuber. Like,
It's still cool. It's so sick.
yeah, it's you kind of like paved the way for all of us.
I think I just wanted to talk about stuff that I liked. Same thing with a lot of the early people.
Yeah. That's kind of the beauty of it. But anyways, guys, we love you. Thanks so much for everybody for donating. We appreciate it, man. And we hope you all have a great rest of your See Groot, what's up? One of the oldest subs of the channel with 5 bones.
Let's go. Thank you.
I see that troll name. What up, Ben Brandt? What up, Mojat? All right. Well, we love you guys. We're $11,749. 100% going to St. Jude's to help sick kids out with research and with their medical bills and payments and everything that the foundation stands for. So we appreciate it. I'm sure all those families and those kids appreciate it too. So next time we'll do another stream and hopefully we'll reach whatever, anything matters. Anything helps. So we love you guys. This was our first stream together, and we will see you back next week, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll talk more Star Wars and hang out with you guys. You cut out there. Say it again.
I just said bye. See you guys.
We love you guys. We'll see you later.
I'm not the Jedi I should be. I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Don't make me kill you. Don't try it.
And you're sounding like a separatist.
Ah, Mando! They all hate you, Mando. Mando, only you, Mando. Welcome back, Mando. Mando. Sorry for the remote rendezvous, Mando.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.